If the Earth is flat, Pete,
Okay.
then there would be no measurable change in elevation. Q.
Okay.
Elevation is a measured change in the vertical axis, therefore not Q.
Therefore, Earth is not flat. And in maths, you can prove whatever you like. I'm saying it's not physics. That's all that I'm saying.
Yeah, so where does the proof of your flat Earth, where does that come into it?
You measure Earth as flat with a flat baseline to a ground position to start.
You can also prove a flat Earth by measuring angles. How useful for proving a flat Earth?
It's a measurement of a flat Earth. Okay, measuring things is not scientific. Yes, that's correct.
So what about the proof then, right? Does the proof of flat Earth that you have, does that lie within the bounds of science?
I will get triggered now because this is dishonest prick.
Okay, measuring things is not scientific. Yes, that's correct.
Well, I was just wondering, when you were talking about proof of your flat Earth, is that the same proof as the proof that you were talking about with Jaren in science?
I answered the first two times. I said no. Twice. No.
I will
No.
get triggered now because this is
Measuring
dishonest prick.
things like a flat baseline to a ground position to start is not scientific. That's a measurement. Science establishes
Should I
the
show you how
cause
it's
of an
possible,
effect.
mate?
That's the science we deal with. We deal with natural
By
science.
using scientific
And while
method
the knowledge can be put on the cover of a book as the science
prove the Earth
of
is flat.
ground position to start, here we specifically deal with natural
Should I show you how
science.
it's possible,
That's
mate?
the scientific method.
by using
There's the
scientific
distinction.
method to prove the Earth is flat.
And I'll agree with you. In maths, you can prove things in the maths. The maths itself is an abstract language. Whereas physics, that's science and the scientific method, is dealing with the physical. It's the difference between science, physics, the physical, and maths, which
Should I
is
show
an
you how it's
abstract
possible,
language
mate?
to describe things. Now, if you're saying you can prove things with maths, 1 + 1 = 2. Ground position. Proof. To start.
And you were equal to, you've had one plus the other one. I can accept that that's proof.
Ground position. Maths. To
No.
start. In physics, it isn't proof.
Should I
because
show you
it
how it's
isn't
possible,
physics.
mate?
Physics is the
By
physical.
using scientific method to prove the Earth
Okay,
is
again,
flat.
I can use the scientific method to prove the Earth is flat. Not the Earth is flat because of scientific method. There's a difference. Shape is not science, but I can use method, the scientific method, to show that it is flat.
Ground position. To start.
Yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
I got your numbers, they're right here.
Yes, that's correct.
It's just as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Sphere, not see
You
thing.
have to open your mind.
Flat, I see thing.
Imagination is all you need.
You do know science is also
Don't
deductible.
take advice from fools.
That is a fact.
Everything that they say is in vain.
So this is a flat Earth proof.
Yes, that's correct.
Never take advice from fools. We all know what they do is in vain.
Should I show you how it's possible, mate? By using scientific
Yes,
method
that's correct.
to prove the Earth is flat.
An Earth was proved to be flat by these measurements.
So we would assert that that average is how average the level of level is. It's flat. There it is. That's how we use it.
The deviation from that reference means it isn't flat.
Everything is relative to you.
I will get triggered now because it's a dishonest
You
prick.
just have to say
Yes, that's correct.
generality.
It's a what is
Do
your
like those straight lines of curves.
Means it isn't flat.
Yes, that's correct.
Drive down the road, don't you
Yeah, but the
ever
elevation
stop.
changes make the Earth not flat.
Third, then, it's a stupid argument. So this is a flat Earth proof.
Where all of this goes.
Don't report to FED or no one. I am my own person. I am my own person.
Yes, that's correct.
Everything that they say is in
By using
vain.
scientific method to prove the Earth is flat.
Never take advice from fools.
To prove the Earth is flat.
That they do is in vain.
Don't report to FED or no one. I am my own person.
What's your observed phenomenon for a flat Earth?
Did I say flat Earth was my observed phenomena, or did I say I can use scientific method to prove it's flat? Huh.
Okay, what's your observed phenomenon? to prove that it's flat?
I see too far. How's that?
I know the game that you're playing,
You want to know, JC?
and I know exactly what's on your mind.
Nah, I'm just letting the FED crew know
You
that
got your playbook, it's alright.
their lapdog needs more
Your
training
model dictates what you will find,
because you're an idiot.
and I don't know
Okay, what's your observed phenomena to prove that it's flat?
where all of this goes.
I see too far. How's that?
Don't take advice from fools.
Because you're an idiot.
Everything that they say is in vain.
I'm manipulating my position.
Never take advice from fools. We all know what they do is in vain.
Do I manipulate my position when I manipulate my position? Do I manipulate my position when I manipulate my position?
What does your position have to do with the shape of the Earth?
You have an angle towards this.
You can also prove a flat Earth by measuring angles.
Observe, which is
How
already too
useful
far
for
to
proving a
see.
flat Earth.
Now that is scientific fact. There's no real evidence for it, but it is scientific fact.
The rebuttal is actually a straw man. And that's, why I want to clarify, because I think that's worth pointing out, that the rebuttal was a straw man. Nowhere in the argument is the words level plane even mentioned. Topography is not mentioned. And it's only about the elevation change, which is a measured change on the vertical datum. There is no conflation between baseline and topography in the argument. It's just a simple if-then argument about elevation change. And obviously the Earth is not flat because of elevation change. That's what the argument is about. I mean, we can read it out, the entire if-then, again, if it's needed.
Read me one more time, just so I can hear it again. Sorry, say it one more time.
If the Earth is flat, Pete,
Okay.
then there would be no measurable change in elevation. Q.
Okay.
Elevation is a measured change in the vertical axis, therefore not Q.
Therefore, Earth is not flat.
But the refutation to the argument being that there's some sort of conflation going on between a baseline and topography is just a straw man, because that's not the case for anybody who actually reads the argument. That's my point.
Well, it's not an argument because you're convoluting the baseline from which you will measure, which is your mean sea level. You're convoluting that with the topology you're trying to measure. So it's not an argument. Just you're misusing words.
And me stating the fact that mean sea level is a point on a vertical datum and not a level plane is just a statement of fact. Mean sea level is not a level plane, it's simply a point on a vertical datum. That's all.
Yes, but it's not a level. You don't understand that. What you just said.
Stupid non-argument, you stupid bonehead!
Okay, again, I can use the scientific method to prove the Earth is flat. Not the Earth is flat because of scientific method. There's a difference. Shape is not science, but I can use the scientific method, to show that it is flat.
Why do we have to listen to this incessant verbal diarrhea with the verbatim repetition of it? Bird it!
Just be patient, guys. This happened before.
Well, I was just wondering, when you were talking about proof of your flat Earth, is that the same proof as the proof that you were talking about with Jared in science?
I answered the first two times. I said no, twice.
You don't understand.
Earth is not flat.
You don't understand.
Earth is not flat.
Yeah. Yes, that's correct.
It's not my problem if you don't want to learn. You're just on your own.
Where's the science for a stationary Earth? Okay, way to demonstrate that you don't understand what science is without saying you don't understand what science is. Because science deals with cause and effect relationships. Though natural science, that's the study of the physical and natural world, is what we are dealing with here on Flat Earth Debate. Now that is exclusively the singular scientific method. That is exclusively illuminating the cause of naturally occurring phenomena. So when you say, what's the science for stationary Earth?
Should I show you how it's possible, mate?
Okay. You're so used to being told that you can prove concrete nouns with science.
By using scientific method to prove the Earth is flat.
Prove concrete nouns with science, do you expect us to adhere to that non-standard?
Not the Earth is flat.
Earth is not flat.
Don't understand.
Earth is not flat.
Not the Earth is flat.
It's not my problem if you don't want to learn.
Because of scientific method. Shape is not science, but I can use the scientific method to prove the Earth is flat.
You can prove concrete nouns with science, do you expect us to adhere to that non-standard? It's not a cause and effect relationship that you're asking about. So when you say flat Earth,
Should I show you how it's possible, mate?
measuring things is not scientific. Yes, that's correct.
By using scientific method to prove the Earth is flat.
that's not something happening. That's not an occurrence. That's not a phenomenon. You're not going to get an IVDV relationship.
Do I manipulate
out
my
of that.
position when I manipulate my
It's
position?
absurd to ask us for the science of flat Earth.
You can use method, the scientific method, to show that it is flat.
No, you can ask for the measurements of flat Earth, the geometry of flat Earth.
Okay, measuring things is not scientific. Yes, that's correct.
The practical application of flat Earth, you can ask for all those things and we can provide them.
You don't understand.
Earth is not flat.
Not the Earth is flat.
You don't understand.
Not the Earth is flat.
Earth is not flat.
It's not my problem if you don't want to
To
learn.
a ground position.
Just on your own.
But asking for the science of a concrete noun demonstrates you don't understand what science is.
To a ground position.
No reason,
To start.
no logic,
Ground
no
position.
wisdom,
To start.
no worries.
Elucidating the cause of an effect, and the
You're
effect
just on your own.
exclusively natural. Only natural.
Does that lie within the bounds of science?
To question.
No. Ground position.
You're
To
just
start.
on your own.
So what about the proof then, right? Does the proof of flat Earth, does that lie within the bounds of science?
No.
Well, it's not an argument because you're convoluting the baseline from which you will measure, which is your mean sea level. You're convoluting that with the topology you're trying to measure. So it's not an argument. Just you're misusing words.
What does that have to do with the shape of the Earth?
Sphere, not see thing. Flat, I see thing. I will get triggered now because he's a dishonest prick. You can use the scientific method to prove it's flat. Flat itself is not a science. You want to know how I can use science to prove it's flat? Have you ever thought of that? How do you do it?
Was that your
Proof.
exit? Are you
What?
going to try and plug your shit on my channel? You
No,
stupid
why
clown?
would I want to do that?
Lost. Lost. If you're telling me you're going, I didn't thank you in return, you noticed.
Yeah. Keep watching Nathan Oakley. And we are live. Free for all Friday, everyone. Now's your chance. Come on in. Have a chat. On the level. .live. I'm feeling a little bit ill, so I would prefer it if everybody else had a bit of a chat tonight. Although we have had some pretty good conversations already today. Going wild. What did I miss? Because we were having a conversation about Big E, Little E. And I think I might have missed it. Everyone goes quiet now. Everyone's been talking.
Oh, I'm still here. I'm still here, mate. So I was just doing something else. Yeah, carry on. Sorry, but finish up. But I am here.
I'm definitely here too, but I got a lot of work to do. I will try and jump in.
Well, Eric came in with something really interesting. We were talking about Little E and Big E, and he came in with a.
Now hold on.
interesting
It's
take
not,
on it.
it's not Eric, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still here.
Oh, that's sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry, it's Air Hartel. Sorry, I didn't know that. Okay, I didn't realise that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's just from YouTube. I assumed it was the same guy. Yeah, we were talking. So yeah, there was a talk about Little E and Big E in terms of Earth, and Eric had some interesting take on that from the Bible and Genesis, and was saying that in some versions he's read there's some delineation between capitalization of some words or others. I mean, maybe he wants to talk about that. Might be interesting.
I'll tell Bev if Bev wants to hear it. He'll probably think it's interesting.
Yeah. Let me just sort your levels out. You're coming through a little bit low, but I can adjust that here in Discord.
Nice, thank you, sir.
Yeah, he's quiet. Eric is quiet for me too. Thank you.
All right, I'll try to talk directly into the mic too.
It's all right. I picked it up at this end. It's coming through clear on the YouTube now. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
nice,
just also, just before you do, we were talking about Big E and Little E, and there may be some people in the audience that aren't familiar with that either. So that's where we started, and you can take it from there if you like, and then just maybe go over that first. Just if you're aware, if you're up for that, and maybe describe what Big E and Little E's to you.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, so Big E, Little E to me. I mean, the way that I think about it is pretty much like you guys think about it. Like I try to use like the little e when I'm talking about the earth, because I'm talking about the dirt, the land, not the whole thing, not the sky and the air, the water, and everything else. So yeah, that's kind of how I think about it. But I know, yeah, it's a thing for some people with the capital E. They got to have it. But yeah, do you want to hear the biblical kind of version of it, Bev?
Yeah. Please, always keen to know. So this comes from the Bible. This is it.
This is I have my Bible in front of me, and this is a New King James version. But it's the same in the King James version and like older translations as well. They make a distinction between there is a little e earth mentioned in Genesis and a big E earth mentioned. And at the very beginning of Genesis, it says that God created the heavens and the earth. So you have heavens being lowercase and you have the earth being lowercase in that sense. And then it goes on to talk about how God actually creates the earth, which is a little confusing because you're like, I thought he already created the heavens and the earth, and now he's like creating the earth again, I guess. And that when he's talking about the actual earth, the land coming forth from the water and all that, then it's capital E, then it's big E earth. So the way I've looked into it and the way that I understand it is that the capital can represent like a finite, like singular. And then a little e can represent like a non-finite plural or like a multitude. So yeah, my take on it, and I've heard a couple other people that have kind of similar thoughts on it, and this is just an idea, is maybe when it's talking about little e earth, when God in the beginning created the heavens and the earth, the little e earth could actually be a host of spirits. And these spirits wouldn't just be like angelic beings, they would actually be forces of nature. And they would play a part in the creation. So like when God says, for example, let the earth bring forth grass, like what is God actually doing there? He's just letting the earth bring forth the grass. You know what I mean? So I just thought that was kind of an interesting thing because, you guys were talking about the big E and the little e and how some people think of the earth as everything, all of it, the whole thing, the whole world. And some people like us just think of it as the dirt, the land.
Is it in the Bible that it's like a command? Is that what you're saying? It's not a command then? It's more of the earth creates.
I mean, yeah,
is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, what does it say to you when God says, let the earth do this, let the earth bring forth the grass and the seed?
Is that are the exact words?
Let the water bring forth abundantly. Let the moving creature that has life. Let the water do it. Let the earth do it. So maybe that's, I don't know. Maybe we've been misunderstanding Genesis from the very beginning in terms of the big E and the little e earth. Because I grew up just thinking it was all the same. That was how I was taught. Is when God's talking about the earth in Genesis, it's it doesn't matter whether it's capitalized or not capitalized. It's just talking about the earth.
Have you got an actual passage to read of that? I know that you said it. And you said it
really
well too.
Yeah.
I just didn't know whether or not you did it verbatim exact, or if it
yeah,
was.
I have my Bible in front of me right now, so I can.
Yeah, don't rush, but yeah, have a little
We can
look, see
go.
what you can find.
We can go do it. I mean, I didn't mean to turn like free for all Friday into a Bible study, but
That's fine.
Hey, no. I mean, it's a free for all. This is the idea of it.
Yeah.
Cool. So
That's
yeah,
why it's free for all.
Genesis
Thank you, Eric.
1. Genesis 1, chapter 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, both lowercase, heavens and earth.
Mm-hmm.
And the earth, lowercase, was without form, and it was void, and the darkness was on the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. So that's kind of how it starts. And then yeah, you get, by the time you get and then that's interesting too, because in the beginning God's created, so heaven and earth have already been created, right?
But he does
and then
use
you
the in there as well, and you say that
yes,
second one is lowercase with a the as well.
Yeah, that's important.
The
That's
earth,
interesting.
and it's still not capitalized.
Yeah.
The or the earth is not capitalized.
Yeah. Also used the face of the waters, which is can be a geometric term.
Well, the face is a geometric term, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
a sphere does not have a face.
Yeah. A face is a
spheres
planar
don't have faces.
Figure, a face in geometry anyway.
I would say so. Dun, dun, dun. So then, yeah. And then by the time you get down to verse 6, it says, and then God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, right? So he's talking about the firmament. And then he says, when the firmament's done, let it be called heaven. And then the heaven is capitalized.
Oh.
But I thought that God already created the heavens and the earth.
So
but now
doesn't that signify it making it a thing,
the
though?
firmament heaven. What was that?
Doesn't the capitalization mean it's made it a thing?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So if you follow that logic, then he's saying this firmament that he is calling heaven, it's different from the heavens that were created in the beginning. This is an actual finite singular thing.
Yeah.
The firmament. He called it heaven.
If I can, I only got a couple of minutes till I got to run to another meeting, but this is fascinating, and thanks, Eric, for bringing it up.
I knew Kevin would love this. I knew Kevin would love this.
It's
I'm glad to hear.
And Spot On's also right? There's lots of ways that people interpret these things. There is a school of thought in certain theological areas that the capitalized H, heavens, is not referring to a creation of let's say earth or ground or stars or any of that, but that it's an actual creation of what ends up being what's called the remnant in the Bible, which is a people that are committed to, or let's say loyal to, or whatever word you want to use, to God. That's because that's what ends up getting destroyed in the book of Revelation. But then there's 1,000 years after that. So if everything's been destroyed, how do you have 1,000 years after that? So but there's these different schools of thought. But it is interesting that the H in that is capitalized, which
and then if you go further in, you get to the capital E's and stuff as well.
And
it's super interesting. It goes way deeper than that too. I can go off on Genesis for days, but I just try to keep it to the big E, little e for now.
And I would say that all this is to say that the people that are, to me, right? I don't know how you feel about it, Eric, but to me, the people that are trying to use the Bible as somehow a proof of flat Earth or globe Earth, right? They're not capable of having this discussion, because you'd have to be able to then say these interpretations can be wildly different from one school of theological thought to another, and to try to pin your model on something that is theological and up for interpretation and written thousands of years ago, if that, right? Because there could be there's some doubt around that, as you pointed out earlier before the show started. So there's lots of that, but to pin the idea that you're going to base your model like Bible says flat Earth or Bible says globe Earth. That's, I think, the important thing to get out of all this. And I got to run in a minute. So thanks, Eric.
Okay, thanks,
Yeah,
Kevin.
no problem, man. No problem.
Am I not being heard?
Yeah.
Hello?
Come.
I can hear you, Rob.
Go on, Rob.
Okay, sorry. No, I just wanted to say that's why I really enjoyed the book of Job, because he tells you can't know the full extent of the dimensions of the realm of Earth.
I agree. Yeah, he lays it out pretty clear.
Instead of, I agree with you, Rob, but instead of Earth, I would say creation.
I stand corrected. Kevin's always right.
You got to be careful when you throw this word Earth about.
Not
really,
not
do.
true.
I mean,
not always right, but that's just my opinion. When I read Job, I think of creation, because that's what God was taking Job to task. I was like, where were you when I created all of this, Job? Even though you've had it rough, to be sure.
Well, there's a word that I've recently found, and I shouldn't have said that. I hot mic'd it really, but I'm gonna sort of like show it at some point. And fascinating to me, it starts with E as well. So yeah, there could be a connection there. Well, if I do a little bit more diving on it, I think it could be something. Yeah, sorry, I want to derail it a little bit, but yeah, is there any more on that, Eric? Any more ideas on that? Are you happy with?
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much
explanation,
the
or?
gist of it. I just thought it was an interesting. It's an interesting idea. I like the idea of like the Earth being like a plurality of spirits that are actually like forces of nature. I think that idea is, I don't know. I think it makes a lot of sense, and it's intriguing. But yeah, that was pretty much it.
Okay.
If anybody else has got anything interesting, lay it on us.
It was skeptical who first brought it up, but he's left now, I think, is he? Looks like he's left. He was kind of talking about that, about Biggie and Italy and his concept of that, and we never got to it. I did speak to him before about it, but he's a Muslim, so it has a different effect to him, because I spoke to him before about it a couple of weeks ago, about when he prays, he has to face, you have to face Mecca, and there is a bit of an issue for globe believers and flat earthers in that sense, because it alters the direction that you're going to have to face in. And if you're in North America or Alaska, then you face northeast, just slightly east of north, and you follow the Great Circle, and that's the direction there. And I think quite a few of the directions follow the Great Circle route, so it will have some curvature in it. It won't be unless you're quite close, perhaps it's not a direct line. So I was kind of wondering, when the 24/7 was going over to the Islamic server, I thought, oh, what's going to happen there then? What will happen if you, if your opinion of the shape of the Earth changes, then if your faith dictates that you have to focus on some shape in order to know which direction to face, then that may change if you no longer follow a globe model. You follow a flat Earth model as given so far, although they say there's no maps and things like that, but on the flat Earth map, as I've seen, that if you're in North America or Alaska, then according to a flat Earth map, you'd face southeast, but not northeast. So the skeptic has gone now, so we never got to ask him about it. He did say that there is quite a discussion amongst Islamic people this point, which I hadn't realised. I thought it was something that was maybe new in well, relatively new because of the discussion about the shape of the Earth. But obviously, it's been a discussion, in that community for some time. So I thought that was quite kind of an interesting situation really to be in. And Bev and I laughed, thinking, if you're in the mosque somewhere and you're the only one facing the opposite direction to everybody else, they say, well, he's definitely a flat earther. We know, that it could cause some issues, And I wondered when that might come up in the Islamic server, that they were going to have to say, well, now you have to face in a different direction. But when we kind of looked at it, Bev came up with he said, oh, you realise that they're following the Great Circle route from North America, particularly, and that side of the globe model. So that was all wrapped up in that. Is are the cardinal directions perpendicular? The concentric latitude circles of the flat Earth, and all those kind of situations it brings up to consider and wonder about. It's very fascinating, really. If I was looking at a flat Earth map or one that has been offered, and wondered about the orientation of it, because you're kind of used to the orientation of the map in our minds, whatever you think of the shape of the Earth, and we know which we kind of used to a direction that the countries are oriented towards, north, south, east, and west, and all that. But on a flat Earth, well, you can spin it. So I'm not really sure what orientation it has, because it seemed to me that you could be going from, on the way it was laid out when I saw it, that North and South America were directly below the center point, and so looking at it logically, you would head north from South or North America towards the North Pole. But if you're in Europe or in the UK, you'd be going west. Looking at the map, if it's spun round, then that's going to change. And which way is east? Which way is east? If you're facing north, which way is east? If you had to point east, which way would that be? Yeah, so it went beyond the capitalization of Earth.
Well, it creates the whole, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of constantly sort of pulled into that, zooming out. Because when people talk about, getting an angle from a curved Earth or a flat Earth or whatever, in the reality of it, I look around and think, well, why couldn't you get it from, patio in my garden? It's level, It's always kind of imagination of looking at it in a geometric way. You kind of imagine a sphere or a circle, but as if you've zoomed out. It wouldn't be possible to get an angle from a curve, but in reality, when you're on a small space, then how much does that factor into it at all? A lot of things, to me, it seems like there's a lot of zooming out in people's minds, or looking at an image in their mind. In my mind, I do that. That's maybe a 2D representation in your mind that you've seen on a map or on a piece of paper. That I don't know how it is for other people, whether how you see your reality, I guess, really. And that seems to just change quite a lot for me in recent times, I must say. and capitalization of it. It's not always something I think about, but yeah, in the Bible, yes, maybe Paper knows more about that. I don't know, but I was saying to Eric, if if the translation did that capitalization, did it come from the original language, Aramaic or Hebrew? Was it capitalized there or not, and did it follow in the translations? And who made that decision? Where did that decision come from to use capitals or not in a language?
I would say that in original there were no capitals. Greeks also didn't use any capitals. They didn't even use space between words. So it's just I don't know who introduced but this capitals, but still referring to this heavens. So the first heaven and earth is not capitalized, of course, because and this is just spiritual world and material world. So that would be the first when he created heaven and earth. So angels and matter, or spiritual world. So beings, spiritual substances and matter. And then from this earth, he created this firmament. So it is from matter. So that's why his Bible is talking about heavens as in two meanings: spiritual world and physical world. So that would be the case. But the earth is small, not big earth. I haven't found any big E in the Bible, in fact.
So would you kind of imagine that there could be like a sort of delineation between matter and spiritual things, physical and spiritual things, do you think?
Yes, yes, of course.
Capitalization was
maybe
employed.
I don't know. Maybe some people just wanted to discriminate between spiritual heaven and physical heaven or heavens, because the theory is that this physical heaven is or heavens is divided into several heavens. So like 9 heavens or whatever. This air heaven or crystal heaven, water heaven, whatever. So they are in physical world. The theory is that there are many heavens in physical world, and this physical heavens are reflections or reflection of spiritual heaven, like this 9 layers of angels, these seraphims and cherubims and angels and archangels or whatever. So that is they were trying to combine this physical heavens with spiritual heavens, but in fact they are 2 different things in the Bible.
Are you kind of talking from like a particular like Catholic version of that, if you like, an interpretation from you personally?
But in fact, Saint Thomas Aquinas was talking a lot about that, but he was referring to others because he was not inventor of the thing. So, but this is just speculation and has no real value. So I wouldn't say that this is specifically Catholic or not Catholic. It doesn't matter. But in the Bible, yes, we have 2 heavens. First is spiritual, just like angels, and the second is this what we call firmament, or dome, or vault, or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I always kind of feel there's a sense of control in the writing, It's employed as a control method, really. I feel a lot about that, so I wonder about for me personally, where that it originated and how the language developed, or how it was used, how it's being used to create a certain kind of paradigm for people. But that's just speculation. I don't know. You probably know a lot more about the biblical history and language than I ever will, perhaps. I don't know. Whether Kevin's not around, he'd have an input about it, no doubt.
I'm searching this. I have to open old file. So in my Latin Polish translation, it is originally from 16th century. So, but this is Vulgate, basically Vulgate translated into Polish in 16th century. Yeah, in Latin, this is in principio creavit Deus celum et terram. So, and there is no capitals beside this in principio. So, in is first letter is because it begins the sentence. So, it is big, but celum et terram. So, heaven and earth is small, of course. And this earth was void and vacuous, and it is still small earth. Yes, and the second is it is called firmamentum in Latin, so not celum, firmamentum. So that would be the second heaven, firmamentum, and firmamentum means firm, so something solid, very hard and sturdy, etc. But this is, of course, translation. This is Latin translation from Greek and Aramaic and Hebrew, etc. So, because this Saint Jerome knew all these languages. Greek, he was Greek generally, so he knew Greek, Latin, Aramaic, and Hebrew. So he was operating within these four languages.
So had it made any difference to your understanding of it, Eric? What you read, the Bible and things, did that make a difference, or is it not really? You didn't give more importance or less importance to things, did it? Or is he not here anymore?
Oh.
He's gone. No dear.
Someone can let's say argue if I have no idea which word is used for celum and which word is used for firmamentum. Are they the same in Greek? I think not, because if they were the same, I think that the Saint Jerome would use the same word, because he was very precise in translation. So he was trying to be so literal as he could be with translation. So that's why it is called Vulgate, because he was not using like poetry or whatever, or just word by word to translate. So this Latin syntax in his translation is rather harsh. it's not very good Latin, let's say, but he was trying to be very literal in translation. That's why his translation is sometimes odd.
But wasn't there a time when the writings weren't available to the general populace, were they, at some time? I got that right. It was the priesthood who held the books and gave the translation of the word. Is
Yes,
that right?
Yes, and there
Yeah.
is very, very good work of monks because they were copywriters. So sometimes they were, some of them were dedicated and they did that for the whole life. So it was lifetime job to write or rewrite Bible, just scribing, making copies.
Yeah, so maybe there was it did represent something, when it eventually became to use capitals or not. Maybe there was some understanding or something that was trying to be communicated in that way. Like you were saying, to show a difference between spiritual matters and physical matters. I wonder whether that was something that was put into some language somewhere at some time. It's interesting that there is, that Eric brought it up, and there is some difference in the words,
We were doing this all week, I suppose, with the different philosophers and the way it's changed, the way Socrates wanted people to break things down to the definition, and then later philosophers saying definitions aren't really that important. We need examples of what you're talking about. And then like the use of the words become different. I mean, I don't know if anybody's any different, but the understanding of big E and little e to me hasn't changed because there's another example from the Bible or whatever. It's other people using these things, and it's however you want to link your understanding of these things. And I think the whole point of us talking about big E is that a lot of people take big E as the whole of everything. And if you take that on as a big E, then you're imagining something. The whole of everything has a meaning that you put into it. And that's I think the danger of big E. Why a lot of people have took it on, why they fight for it.
But for me, it is inevitable inconsequence because in let's say heliocentric model, this big Earth is very small Earth, and this is just a dust in vacuum of space of huge universe with this Milky Way and etc. So it is just a point. So it is not in this model of universe. It is very small. I don't know why they are using big E for such small thing as Earth. I don't understand that.
I think it puts that idea in people's minds. As soon as you capitalize that E, you make it a thing. You give it importance by naming it or something, and that makes it something that I don't think it is.
So, yeah, I've become much more aware of it just since I've been around in this arena, that writing chats, texts, and things like that. I am much more aware of using capitals or not. I tend not to.
Yeah.
And it's a strange feeling that goes with it. It's not. It's almost a subconscious thing. I mean, I don't want to give emphasis to or prefer over one thing or another, particularly when you're skirting around models. That you don't want to. It feels like not to give preference to anything particular, or if you do, it kind of delineates some kind of position you might hold. It feels, maybe it's a bit more sensitive in the text chats that I get involved in. But I have. But when I think about it, I tend not to use capitals a lot.
Yeah, no rats put there unless you're starting a sentence. But
I
don't. I purposely will find a way to not start a sentence with it.
Right.
Just so
okay.
I don't have to capitalize it. I can't see.
Yeah, that's just grammar, I guess. That's all it belongs to in me. It's just, something.
But it's amazing how much influence that has when people see it, right? You see the big E, and that has a meaning. Just looking at it, I think.
Yeah.
Subconscious.
I mean, I get pulled up for editing things, as if I've changed my mind, or you know how it is in the text chats. If you make a mistake, you got a big thumb, or the autocorrect goes. But generally, I'm editing because I look at it and think, no, it needs a comma in there. It needs a pause, and it's more like commas that I'm putting into sentences than anything else, than changing things. And because it's a communication that's it's not spoken, but it's as if you're speaking. It's things that you can kind of give emphasis to, or slow the pace of a sentence down, if you like. It just creates something, gives it some form, that you might use if you're talking. So it's generally that. But it's something I've been become more aware of. Although when I think about it, I say I don't tend to use capitals in much things apart from the beginning of sentences, really. And I don't ever use a capital for I when I'm talking about me. And I don't. It's odd. And I know that I consciously changed that at a point in my life. There was a point I changed that and didn't use a capital there anymore.
Oh, yeah, I never thought of that.
Unless autocorrect, gets me. But yeah, there was. It was. I remember. Couldn't say exactly what it was, but I do remember the conscious moment of not doing that.
I'd always capitalize a name, though, right?
Yes, I have
Yeah.
found something because in verse 8, for example, when he was talked about firmamentum, and he called God called this firmamentum called celum, and this celum is capitalized. Now, before it wasn't, and now it is. And in verse 10, for example, that God called dry, because it is in Vulgate, it is dry. So he called dry earth, terra, and this terra is capitalized. And gathering of water, he called sea, and the sea is also capitalized now. But in next verse, in 11, when he's talking about germination of things on earth, it is small, let's say e. So terra is small. So it is not, I think, that if Saint Jerome used this capital letters just for distinction, that for people reading, or that there is distinction between earth and water. And to see that distinction, he capitalized in this verse. He capitalized earth and water, and then he's going back to small letters. So because when he's talking beneath in 12, in verse 12, there's also terra, and it is small, and it's so I wouldn't give that much importance in the Bible when he's, because it is inconsistent. So it doesn't make earth more important in this verse when he is using capital letters, because he is using capital letters for earth and water alike in one verse. And then he's going back to small letters. So, and I'm not sure if it is Saint Jerome invention. Maybe it is someone after him. I'm not sure. For me, it doesn't matter. It doesn't change meaning of anything here.
Yeah, I think that's the point, isn't it? This is most of this stuff's going to come down to what you think anyway. It's not, I don't think anyone could be swayed by a capitalization of something in a book or whatever. It's not really going to change the meaning of it, is it?
Yeah, because of course in this in Bible, of course, Deus dixit. So he said, God said. So God is always capitalized. And for example, when this earth is germinating something, so this word germinate in Latin is capitalized. I don't know why. It is not in this is not first word in the sentence. So this is just inconsequent, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I think the point of this is, though, that within people putting a capitalization on the E and obviously centering a lot of attention around it, I get the feeling that the big E is false idol. People are putting too much weight into the big E, and that's mainly the problem, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So in the Bible, if it is big, it doesn't matter really. But some people give some importance to that for some reason. I don't know why.
I wonder what relevance or impact it's going to have on, the language that's evolving now, devolving, with text speech and text writing and the shortening of words and lols and the acronyms of, ROFL and all those kind of things that people use. And kids use a lot. Grammar seems to be on the, what's the word? Well, yeah, it's pretty bad, I think. In general, you can see a lot of things that kids are writing and the way they write. So I don't know whether it'll have importance or what importance does it have? Does if you've been taught it, or if that's what you've grown up with, a certain, grammar. Yes, maybe it's just a personal thing that makes me just go back and think, well, I've got to put a comma in there. But there's a lot of other people it won't even be a consideration, or even maybe any recognition of the implication of a capital or not. I don't know. Or whether it's had the same impact on other languages, because English is not a very powerful language in the sense of as like some other languages have much more depth to the words. Some words mean immense things. So I wonder, with the language as it's changing for kids and and that and how much impact it's had on other languages. As I kind of feel like it is on English, particularly whether it changes Arabic or Indian language or Middle Eastern type of languages. It has an impact on those, and there's a shortening of words, and also whether they'll lose their power with the meanings of their words and the depth. So the old language, Sanskrit, that kind of thing, had incredible meanings and descriptive understanding of just one or two words. Mostly in a spiritual fashion, I think, though. I could think about it. They conveyed, more depth of spiritual meaning, probably. Is the way I was thinking about it.
So that was an interesting Big E, Little E conversation, wasn't it?
Yeah. And that's also come from the straight line we've had this week, really, isn't it? and the language that brings about, way people talk about things, how they relate to people's understanding and other words, and how it links to other words. Just a straight conversation. I mean, seemingly small word. I just say it to take words that don't have great meanings, but straight seems to have a deep meaning for different people, in different ways. Really, the implication of it. If anybody else has kind of come across that that aspect of the straight line that's been spoken about recently, and whether that's starting to feed into the language of the arena, and people are hearing a difference. Because I often hear when we've spoken about things, how the language has changed, the rhetoric changes to account or cover up, seemingly cover up. It seems mostly cover up certain situations. I mean, today on Nathan's little travels to 24/7, you could hear him being led into a certain area of a conversation that he obviously didn't want to go in, and then he smothers people with the words and distracts and takes off another direction, or just halts the conversation and won't let it be heard. So, changing the rhetoric and the way that that things can be discussed or not discussed and obfuscated is quite interesting to watch, really.
It is interesting, and we did have a guest come round, I guess. I don't know whether Rob's around, but yeah, I think we got invited over to Geo's to have a conversation.
You were invited? Was it?
Yeah. So free to go around there anytime. And it would be good to get, an understanding of what's going on. And why I can't understand why people want to make allowances for contradictions that they're going to hold. It's a bit weird. So I don't know. I don't know whether to put that conversation out as a thing or whether we're going to actually have that again. We have been going around asking flat earthers that. I mean, everybody seems to know that the Earth's not flat. But as we keep getting flat earthers want to come round and try and convince us that although we know that the Earth's not flat, they want to convince us that they want to call it flat. I guess, I don't know. It's hard work to understand. I mean, I bet they've been going on for quite a while, but like, I've been here in this arena for 5 years, saying the Earth's not flat. It's pretty obvious, and I think they've all been trying to convince me that I should join that crew, but I just can't do it. It's a contradiction. Can't hold contradictions. I can do the water for you. Yeah. So yeah, we've had Jeremy around here today. Just got to put some water in the kettle, so I'll be back in a moment.
Yeah, I think they probably have different topics of conversation, Geo, so I don't really hang around there too much. Well, what I do here, it can range, it seems to me, from some really crazy off the wall conversations that go on. Lots of subjects, not all about they're not always so focused on the shape of the Earth. That's for sure. It seems they have their moments, but here are all sorts of things going on there. But I know in FED they're pretty focused, and it seems that they seem to be quite focused on celestial navigation as a proof of flat Earth. But it only seems to go so far. There's only certain questions you can ask when you go beyond certain questions. Then
give over. Don't say that. You've got to agree with them that any measurement means the Earth's flat before you can have any conversation with anybody at FED or 24/7. And then you'll get asked to prove the curve.
Well, yeah.
That's it. Conversation over.
Yeah.
And the one we had earlier today was somebody trying to convince us that although they know that the Earth's not flat, the Earth's flat, I think. That's what it seems to be. And it seems like people can't get their point across, and I can't understand it because it just sounds like a contradiction. If you know the Earth's not flat, how can you say that the Earth's flat? Or that it's measured that way? I mean, everybody knows horizontal is horizontal. If you go back and trace the origins of this channel, you'll find out that, yeah, that's what we knew. We know that horizontal, like level, is a straight line on a horizontal plane. So that doesn't mean the Earth's flat. It just means level and horizontal are similar things. Level's a tool that establishes a horizontal.
Yeah, I mean, they use, because it's horizontal, the Earth is flat, it seems, but when you talk about horizontal and, well, how did you get that horizontal? How did you establish it? Then it gets pretty vague. And that's kind of odd, given that that is the keystone of it all, it seems, the horizontal. Because there's horizontal, the Earth is flat. That seems to be the keystone of it all. But if you asked about that, well, okay, so where is the horizontal? Where did you establish that? Then it becomes a bit vague. So I haven't been to Geo's, but I watched Geo's in the chat this morning, and for quite a long time having a chat backwards and forwards with somebody who insisted that the the angle from the eye to the horizon of the observer from the sextant was horizontal. I said, no, it's a slope. That's a slope. It's not horizontal. And just insisted that it was, and got very upset about it, that I wouldn't agree that it was. So when you do press on well, what is horizontal? How did you establish that horizontal? And then what? If you measure the Earth flat, then where did you measure it from or to? What's the reference? And trying to kind of get to that place, you say, well, okay, where is that? How did you do it? It becomes very difficult. It just goes back to it's the horizontal you're standing on, or it's there already. If it's there already, there'd be no need to establish it. Establish a horizontal reference because the Earth isn't. Otherwise, you wouldn't need to. It would just be there. It wouldn't be necessary to have builders come and level anything to build anything because it's already horizontal. Well, obviously, it's not. So, given that that's the key to the current 2024 campaign of the Earth is measured flat, it's quite interesting how little specifics you can get to. And you ask how that's done, where is it?
Yeah, I was somebody challenged me right at the beginning on Twitter, probably before I even came to Discord, to prove that level was horizontal. I did. Well, proved it to myself, along with a few other people that came along with us and did that. But these guys are talking about proving the Earth flat, and they can't even prove horizontal. I don't know if they know how to.
No, I guess that's where the issue is, that they don't know. They couldn't. They don't know, so they can't talk about it as easily as you could, because you've done that. Or anybody else who might have done that. You'd be able to talk through the process and the method and relate it to the surface if that's what the question was. You'd be able to relate it to something in reality. I guess that's the issue, is that when you get to talk to people about it and ask them how that's done, they don't have any knowledge of it in reality. There's a lot of stories that go around of getting an angle to Polaris and boom, that's it. That's all you need. It's measured flat. That's all you need to hear. It's measured flat. How? Don't even entertain it. Just insist everything's measured flat. And I think it's how a lot of people have fallen foul of it, because they haven't really got a coherent explanation. And it's not a gotcha. It's like how you want to understand. Sort of somebody chatted to somebody on and this morning, and they, of course, if you question them, you're immediately a glober. It was a flat earther I was talking to, and I said, I just trying to find out some information. You seem to want me to be on your team, and if I'm going to be on your team, then I need to be able to explain things, and you're not explaining that to me. So I don't want to be like you. I don't want to be somebody to be questioning me and I haven't got an answer, and so I've got to make them think about the globe. Well, you prove something then. Oh, you can't prove it, so it must mean that I'm right. And that's how it goes. I wouldn't want to be doing that. I'd like to be able to have something solid that you could actually talk about or defend or support or create, explain. I don't want to have these gaps where now I'm in this position where somebody's asking me and I don't have anything. Now I've got to say, well, where's the curve then? Where is it? Well, we weren't talking about the curve. Well then, if you can't find a curve, it's flat then. It doesn't prove anything, I posted a picture this morning of measuring the Earth flat, and it's as I was walking, looking across the field, and I can see the tops of some houses It's about the horizon, if you like, the edge of the horizon, which is the field, is about 800 meters away. And there, just beyond there, are the rooftops of two houses. And just in a short distance there, measuring the Earth flat or proving the Earth's a sphere. That's everywhere. The reality of it not being flat. You haven't got to go and take long distance photos or anything like that. So if you present that to somebody, then you have to be able to explain it or give some coherent explanation about it. I can't just say, well, it's flat, it's measured flat. Go away, you're a retard. Don't ask me that again. You must be a glober.
Some people can't even move on until you say the word. You say the F word. In the conversation.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of
It's not. It just seems like
prefix and
somebody just.
suffix.
It's a lack of honesty with themselves when they put themselves in that position. You know, what it seems like to me. And they force people to say something. You know, it's just weak. Especially when it's not that something. That's the even weaker part, I think, of the argument, if you want to call it an argument. But we know there's no arguments in that community. So, Free for All Friday, hop in. The water's great.
Yeah, I have to put like a shout out as well. I don't normally ask people to share this, but everybody's banned us. There's nobody for me to post anywhere. I've only really got Twitter. Might have to get Geo's, but I mean, Geo didn't even like us posting that in there. He told us off for spamming his chat for when we go live. I don't know whether it's competition or something.
Yeah, I haven't. I have been muted several times in there, server muted, but I haven't been banned from there. I don't go there very often yet. But yeah. But we did get banned from the politics and religion 24/7, and we hadn't even earned the possibility to put pictures in the chat or to have any roles. So I don't know even if we could even speak yet. I don't know. I haven't spoken yet. I think you have, haven't you? But yeah, so we got banned just for. Well, somebody was texting me, and I was replying, and then they told me I was a troll and that I shouldn't speak to them anymore, and otherwise they'd ban me. And so I didn't reply. And then they engaged me later on. So I thought you told me not to speak to you. You're going to ban me. I hope you're not trying to trick me into reply and say you'll ban me or something. So it ended up it was just me and Bev having a little chat backwards and forwards about some things, and they got triggered by it, and that was it. Kicked us out. It's quite amusing, really. But yeah, shut down lots of places.
Oh, I've been doing some stuff as well today with me text. I don't know whether we should do that. I think I'll leave all of that stuff. We'll go over that at the weekend, have a chat with the guys. But yeah, as we have been doing, and the proof, like we said, the level being horizontal relies on a proof of a straight line. And this, whatever this ridiculous arena is, I think the big trick has been exposed. We've been trying to tell people for, a fair few years now that this is all about geometry and obviously shape. And there's I'd say misunderstanding, but that's not the right word. There's a lot of confusion thrown around about straight. And it may seem like nothing really. You may think, why are you saying something so simple? But yeah, there's people at the minute that are going to try and confuse about straight, and it does help, or it would help, if everybody has some sort of an idea on what straight is and how you have a proof of something so basic. Have an understanding of it, what it is, definitions. Balanced truths. Blue won't go on Jeranism. He's scared. And I have offered them. I've offered all of them really a false dichotomy debate. So Jeren can team up with Blue. And then those two can go together and explain to everyone why they imagine flat versus globe is a true dichotomy. And I'll obviously have the arguments to prove that it's a false dichotomy. They can team up together and explain to everybody why it's a valid argument having flat versus globe. Because I say it's ridiculous. It's, we've been here for years watching it go on. People claiming to have proofs of all of that. And
yeah, it's interesting. It's called debatism, isn't it?
Yeah.
And this topic hasn't been debated. You think that would be something that would be wanted to have that debate. Yeah, God, this we haven't covered that one. Let's have a debate about that. About the false dichotomy. What harm would there be in it? They've run out of globe versus flat debaters. It seems they've gone through the whole panel from each side. It seems of those who are available or want to debate, and come round a couple of times, and it's getting a bit stale and thin, really. The ones I've seen, well, even more recently, they seem to have got worse. So yeah, I would have thought that false dichotomy debate would be a brilliant thing, really, very interesting.
Yeah, it gives you the chance to have bring epoche into it. To just it's a reality approach, which I think there's a lot more people who are willing to do that, because all I've seen recently is flat earthers trying to pressure people into saying that the earth's flat, and that's all they've got really, just trying to coerce people into saying it, as if that makes any difference, right? It's not going to make the earth flat, especially if you've already admitted that it's not flat. It doesn't matter what people say. It's obviously not flat. Let's get down to the conversations about reality. Things that we can agree on.
Yeah, it would be most interesting to see them both join hands in the false dichotomy debate. It'd be interesting to see the globe and the flat earth join hands in an attack on the false dichotomy. We stand together. Yeah, they do. Yeah, it happened to me this morning.
Will stick up for the globe guys, and the globe guys will stick up for the flat earthers.
Yeah,
especially when you're dealing with logic and arguments.
And he did stop when I pointed out, here you are, you've come here, you must have some hate in you. Well, he brought up Bev, and you're a Bevite, and I said, well, yeah, how would you feel if every time I mentioned you, I mentioned McToon or FTFE? How would you feel about that? Like I said, that where did you get the information? mctoon.net. Every time you mentioned anything, how would you feel about that? Bev's not here. He's not even can't even come in here. So why are you saying that? What's what has the bigger depth of hate? Your hate for Bev or for the flat Earth? Because here you are, supporting the flat earthers. That's, when you spent all your time here attacking them, and here you are standing, shoulder to shoulder with them. This is an interesting situation. They disappeared for a bit. But yeah, they will rally around each other when certain subjects are brought up. Quite amazing.
Yeah, straight. It's a killer because nobody wants to talk about it, and you know that whenever we bring it up in conversation, people are going to run from it. I think it's such an easy conversation to have, but so intricate and so basic. It really knocks on the door of knowledge, doesn't it? How do you know these basic concepts? Are you able to prove it? Can you prove something so basic? And would you be allowed somebody to tell you that you might be thinking of it differently?
Yeah, it's funny. One of those things is a bit like capitalization. One of those things you wouldn't think had any real consequence. But you can see when you talk to people about it, it does have some deep implications. Yeah. And now, now it seems that the people you thought would support straight, the flat earthers, are kind of bending a bit towards it. Well, how straight is it? How can you prove it's straight?
Yeah, I have been making some images. Got I've got LimeWire on the thing. I might have to do a promo video for it. But it does, it sharpens images up. Here we go. There's my water level tool. And that's the one that we use to do the test. I know it probably doesn't mean much to anyone. You're so used to lasers and stuff like that. This sort of stuff's a bit too simple for most people to get a grip on. You want lasers and lakes and reciprocal zenith angles, all fancy calculations. Fancy surveyors, fantasy methods of surveying. Was it Tepe? Yeah. It's just a visual surface condition, flat. If you look at it close enough, yeah, you'll find out it's not. But it is just a visual surface thing, so I think that's why a lot of the flat earthers and the globe earthers deal with optics and cameras and looking at the horizon and stuff like that. We'll have to have a word with Jeremy, because I think he had the circular horizon, didn't he?
Yeah, I just got back to my phone. I just want to say Jeremy's pissed that I gave you guys his DM to me.
Oh, was that what it was?
Yeah, he's pissed at me now because I shared his DM to me. which just states what he believes.
It's just it's a conversation, isn't it?
Yeah, there's nothing private in there. Like, I don't understand what his problem is. It's not like I gave out any of his personal information.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we did have a conversation today, and it was, don't know, challenging, let's say. Because you know when you agree with somebody on something, and then they take it back in the next sentence, but then end up agreeing with you again, and then take it back again straight away, and tell you that they actually meant something different. And then agree with you again. I'm talking about it being not flat here with the agreement. But flat earthers always want to tell you how it's not actually flat, but how they want to be able to. Well, they want to convince you along their line of thinking after you've just agreed that it's not flat as to how it can be considered flat. Brian's still going with it, is he?
Yeah, it's new. I just saw it 50 minutes ago. It was,
yeah. I think he just
published.
posted it in the chat earlier.
Oh, right, okay. I saw it. I don't swear, but circles of equal elevation. I haven't seen it, so I don't know what it is really. He did say he would, he needed to bring up this situation of the longitude to the curved latitude, but I haven't heard him speak to anybody about it. He said he would go to last week. He said, "Oh, I'll get to Oakley's last Friday in the 24/7 politics." We never showed up.
Yeah, Zeb Tappy's asking if I'm the final experiment. No, I'm not a flat earther, so they only want flat earthers to go. And nothing, it wouldn't make any difference anyway.
You were just telling me the other day you were a flat earther.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I asked you if elevation follows a horizontal line.
And I told you that the Earth's definitely not flat. Are you one of these people? Flat earthers think that horizontal means the Earth's flat. Are you one of those?
Peter returns. The ghost of Peter.
You told me that elevation follows a horizontal line. That's a flat Earth.
Yeah, it's not a flat Earth.
Yeah,
the Earth's not flat, mate.
Yeah,
that's how we measure the Earth to be not flat. You're like the flat earthers. You can agree, right? Can you agree that the Earth's not flat?
I know it isn't, but
okay.
you
well, I do as well.
It is.
I know it's not flat as well.
No,
now do you think horizontal means the Earth is flat?
No, you think that elevation follows a horizontal line, which means that you think it's a flat Earth. Then you just don't understand it yet.
I know how we measure elevation changes. I've actually done it. And you're pretending to be a surveyor, so I presume you know how to measure elevation changes too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, with the GPS.
There you go. No, not GPS. You don't do elevation with GPS.
I mean, you can't get an elevation without a GPS.
You can.
No, you don't use GPS to measure elevation changes.
Of course you do.
Well,
you can't.
That's why we know.
You need your baseline.
That's why we know
you're
not a real surveyor. You're just pretending.
That's how I know
like
you're not a real surveyor. That's how I know you're not a real surveyor.
Because we measure elevation changes with a level. Is that how you measure elevation changes? We measure a vertical change from an established horizontal plane made by a level, right? That tool. Checking Google. ChatGPT that.
No. Just sending a picture of my survey equipment, so I actually have more evidence that I know about surveying than you.
Mm-hmm. But elevation is measured on the vertical.
In order to get an elevation, you need GPS.
You just need a benchmark, don't you? And you can cite that with an auto level.
And that benchmark is made how? With GPS?
Well, you can GPS that benchmark if you want, but
no, you said you just need a benchmark. Where are you getting the benchmark from?
Well, they're all over the place, aren't they? In the UK,
and
anyway.
Where do they?
Side of churches.
Where do they get them from?
There's all down the road.
Where do they get them from?
The benchmarks. Have you seen them? In stone.
I've seen the U.S. Marine Corps benchmarks before. Yep. I've also set benchmarks for foundations.
With GPS?
I use a GPS to get a baseline on my point. Yes, absolutely.
A baseline on your point?
Mm-hmm. I need to get the GPS to get the elevation first. Absolutely.
The GPS gives you the elevation?
Yes, it does.
The GPS marks a point on the map, and the map already has an elevation.
No, I'm talking about with my survey equipment. I bang a nail into the ground, and I get a GPS on that nail. Then I set up my equipment, measure up to the line to get the height of the instrument, and then use the reflectorless mode to, because they usually want it on a vertical thing, so this way they can set up their level laser to match it, so they get that elevation programmed in. But yeah. Nothing super complicated, but absolutely done with GPS.
Yeah, here's a picture in the live chat there. Can you see that? People might be able to recognize those. That's the old UK benchmark from before GPS, right? Because they obviously had benchmarks before GPS when they were designing the maps, making the maps, the cartographers, before GPS.
Yeah, what they do before GPS? You're telling us they weren't able to create horizontals before GPS?
Yeah, of course they were.
Have you only trained GPS? You said you weren't a licensed surveyor, so have you?
I did not say. I did not say I was a licensed surveyor. Don't put.
No, I said you said you weren't a licensed surveyor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So have you only used GPS? You've never used another system for surveying?
Yeah, of course. I have a total station, a Focus 35 made by Spectra Geospatial.
So the total station that uses differential leveling for establishing elevations, right?
No, it doesn't establish elevations.
What, your total station doesn't establish elevation?
No, the GPS establishes the elevation. The total station carries that elevation.
Carries it?
Mm-hmm. So after I get the GPS shot on the nail, I set up the total station on that nail. I measure up the height to the slant mark. I program that height into the data collector, and it carries the elevation from that nail because I'm telling it the rod height as well. And it knows, and it calculates the angle and the distance, and that's how it knows the elevation.
Yeah, measures
but
the vertical
it carries
height.
it carries the elevation from the GPS information.
Uh-huh. So it's a vertical change, right? Established by setting a horizontal and measuring that height. I mean, that's an elevation change. I mean, we do know. GPS just plots points. You need some extra work. Normally a total station or an auto level or water level. Depends. But usually the level part does the elevation changes. Much more accurate. First order with a level. You'll get like third order, right? With GPS. Right? No, you don't know.
You must be new to this subject.
He's a new
A lot of us
surveyor.
have been around. Yeah, we've been around here a long time with these old ass arguments.
Well, all of the other surveyors, the globe surveyors, they've not stuck around for very long. Because it's mainly when we get down to the understanding of the straight line, horizontal planes being parallel, the ability to prove straight lines lying in a plane.
Yeah, but it's okay. You think the world is flat. It's all right.
I don't think the world's flat. I know
Of course you do.
It's not flat.
Well, not according to what you say. When you say elevation,
Look, this is
follows
getting
a
old.
horizontal
Look,
line,
I'm telling you.
you're saying the
Look,
world is flat.
No, I'm saying, this is what I say. The Earth is not flat. Right?
Yes,
That's what
you
I'm
say the
saying.
word,
So
the
don't
Earth
tell
is
me
not
I'm
flat.
saying something else, because you're
Well,
beginning to
okay.
sound like a flat earther.
No, so you say
You can hear me though, right? You can hear me when
Yes,
I
of course.
say the Earth is not flat.
Yes,
Good.
I hear you.
Good.
You say the words, the Earth is not flat. And then you also say that elevation follows a horizontal line.
I say,
which implies a flat Earth.
all horizontals are parallel and level is a straight line on a horizontal plane.
And if you stay at the same elevation and travel,
those two facts, which are provable, are what we use to know that the Earth is not flat.
can you stay on a flat line if you stay at the same elevation as you travel?
A horizontal, yes.
So
It's not a flat line, it's just a horizontal plane. Has zero slope.
You think elevation, if you stay at the same elevation, you're following a horizontal plane. Elevation is distance from the Earth.
Is it?
So if you're traveling...
Where does it say that?
Of course it does. It says it's the distance from mean sea level.
Distance from mean sea level, yeah.
Right.
That's a point.
So you're saying...
It's a point on the vertical datum.
Yeah, as you travel along the same elevation, you're traveling along a horizontal line, which implies a flat Earth.
All of the
You
elevations
are
of
a
the
flat
UK,
earther.
well, yeah, look out. I'll give you this.
Have you used
I'm going to read this for you, right? And then you see what you say. I'll put it in the chat for you. Albums. I've done this quite a few times for quite a few people.
It's very simple. If you think elevation is a horizontal line, you think the world is flat.
I don't think the world's flat. I know it's not flat. Okay.
Yes, you say those words, and then you say elevation is a horizontal line.
This is the UK, because we live in the well, I do live in the UK, so this is my homeland. The UK fundamental benchmark. The tidal observatory was established to determine the mean sea level, that is, the starting point for levelling in the UK. This brass bolt is the benchmark for the whole of the United Kingdom. That is, all heights are referenced to this point.
Right.
The height of the benchmark was established over a 6-year period from 1915 to 1921, when visual observations of water level on a tide staff were made every 15 minutes, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. From the data collected over this period, mean sea level was found, and this vertical level transferred to the head of this bolt.
So if you travel at that elevation of that bolt,
all of the heights of everything in the UK,
do you travel along a flat line as you travel along the elevation of that bolt?
Are you medical staff or something?
No, I told you what I was.
What's a flat line then? I've
What's
never
a flat
heard
line?
of that term. Is that a US surveying term?
A horse. So if you travel,
can you show us where it says it in your surveying manuals?
As you travel along,
just so we know so we can know what a flat line is within surveying American. It's not in the UK terms. It's not there.
Listening. It's all right, Beth. It's okay. You're a flat earther. It's all right, man.
It's not. You're the one that's using this, mate. You can't stop yourself from saying it.
Yeah, because you're coping. It's okay.
Go on. Try harder.
You're coping.
What's the horizontal to you then?
It's a horizontal to me.
Yeah. How would you establish a horizontal between 2 points?
Between 2 points. The shortest distance between those 2 points.
That's a straight line.
Do you want to get into how space-time is curved, though? I don't really want to get into that.
No, you're not measuring that with your total space. No,
don't do that.
Exactly.
You're not. You're establishing Listen, hang on. You're establishing a horizontal. That's your job. You establish a horizontal, and you're measuring elevation changes in reference to that, aren't you?
Yes, but I get the elevation from my GPS unit.
Well, it doesn't matter where you got it from. It doesn't matter where you got it from. You establish the horizontal. And from that horizontal reference, you measure elevation changes.
Right, and surveyors say that if you travel along the same elevation, you're traveling along a curve.
Well, we're talking about you. We're not talking about other surveyors. You know that when you establish that horizontal, that it's horizontal, don't you? Equal elevation all along that horizontal.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Elevation does not follow a horizontal line.
But that's your job.
Accept that, which is
your job.
Oh,
well, of course it is. That's your job to
elevation
to
does
establish
not follow
that.
a horizontal line. That's my point. So if you say elevation,
that's how you know the Earth's not flat.
If you say elevation follows a horizontal line, you're saying the Earth is flat.
What's a horizontal line then? Explain.
Elevation doesn't follow, does it? Elevation changes. It's all over the place. You should know that, being a surveyor. Elevation does not follow a horizontal line. It goes up and down. That's not a horizontal line. A horizontal line has zero slope.
The job as a surveyor, I thought that was the key part of a surveyor's job.
The differential in differential leveling is the difference between the horizontal planes, right? You know that, surely.
Yeah.
Surveying.
That'd be the vertical change, wouldn't it?
Yeah, the vertical change for the difference between the horizontal planes.
And they call it typically topography. So
he knows
nothing
that.
Special.
He's just
That's how I
recruiting
thought
for
he
the
knew.
Flat Earth Society, I think. He's trying to
Yeah,
get
I
as
thought
many
that's how
people
it-
as he can. He thinks all he needs to do is call people that, and then they go on the books as the Flat Earth Society. It's weird how they work, these guys, but that's right.
Yeah, I
Isn't
thought that's how he agreed the Earth wasn't flat. I thought it was the same thing. And then he was saying, "You've got to be a flat earther because you do what I do, and
No,
you
all I'm
establish
saying
a
is that
horizontal, and you measure elevation changes."
no, what I'm saying is if you think elevation follows a horizontal line, you are a flat earther. That's all I'm saying.
Like in that picture there, that last one, profile view, backside, foresights. You know how to do that, right? Have you ever done any traditional differential leveling with an auto level? Have you ever done any of that?
My total station has an auto level in it.
No. Have you ever actually done any differential leveling with an auto level?
No, that's not what I do.
No. Okay. Well, if you
You
look
haven't.
if you look in the live chat now, there's a picture of how differential leveling is done.
Yeah, I don't. It doesn't matter if you
It
say
does.
elevation
It
follows a
definitely does
horizontal
matter
line. You're a
because
flat earther. That's
there's
all
a
that
height
matters.
above the it's got it there, datum, mean sea level in the
If
picture.
you're saying if you follow the same elevation and you go on
Like in that
that's a
picture,
horizontal line.
like in that
You're
picture,
a flat earther, man.
like in
It's
that
okay.
picture.
Bro, you're a flat earther.
Okay,
It's
so
okay.
the flat earther wrote the differential leveling method, right? Whoever did that picture, they also must be, according to you, some random person who wants to recruit people to the Flat Earth Society.
All I'm saying is that if you think elevation follows a horizontal line, you are in fact a flat
Look,
earther.
I'll say it again.
That's all.
Elevation
That's all.
does not follow a horizontal line.
Thank you. Oh,
Look in the
God,
picture.
Because you kept saying that
See,
before.
you can see the
No,
you
he
look in the
didn't.
picture? Can you see
Yes, he said that to
elevation
me before.
changing?
Yes, he
And
has said
is
that
that
to me.
following a horizontal line? Is the elevation in that picture following a horizontal?
So if the elevation change, obviously, yes, it's not going to be on a horizontal line.
Well, there you go then. We know that.
But what I'm saying, if you say that if you follow the same elevation, if you stay at the same elevation, if you think that's a horizontal line, then you think the Earth is flat.
I don't think the Earth's flat. I know it's not flat. You're mad.
So then you know
You're
that,
as mad
so
as
then
the
you
flat
know,
earthers.
Okay. So
You
then
and
know
the
that
flat
elevation,
earthers are absolutely crazy.
So then you do know that elevation doesn't follow a flat line.
Yes, look, there's hills and fucking
Yes,
valleys.
not
definitely
not
not a horizontal
change in
line.
elevation.
Horizontal lines
change
do
in
not
elevation.
go up and down, round curves.
Not the change in elevation. If you stay at the same exact elevation, you
Like
do
level.
not follow a horizontal line.
Okay,
If
like
you
a
think that
water level.
If you stay,
like a water
if you
level.
Think that if you think
If you
that you
stop
stay,
telling me if I think things. We're going to go on what we know.
No.
Yes, we are. Have you ever seen a
Okay,
water
fine.
level?
Fine. I won't say you think. If you say that elevation follows a horizontal line, you are in fact a flat earther.
Right. Well,
What does your
I'll
horizontal
say
line
that
do?
if you keep saying that, then you're the flat earther. Okay?
No.
Right. Well, fair enough. Let's carry on. Right. Don't worry about it. We're all flat earthers. Don't worry about it. Yeah. It's only a thing that you call people. It means nothing. You must understand that. Right, it's just people calling other people names. Don't worry about it. You've just got on with the.
It's okay, man. Just come to terms with yourself.
Do you know what a water level is? The tool.
Yes.
The surveying tool.
Well, it's not used for surveying anymore.
Well, unless you're using it for surveying, but you know.
Well, it's not used for surveying anymore.
Okay. Well, let's say we've got a mile-long water level. A tube. A mile long. We're gonna fill it up. We're gonna fill it up with water. Dead easy.
Okay.
Right, now the water comes up at each end of the tube to the same level. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, like you said before, shortest distance between those 2 points, that's a straight line. Would that be horizontal?
That would be horizontal, but
Okay.
that would only meet the level at the middle.
What do you mean? Well, I tell you what.
Yeah,
let's put a riser in the middle.
You can't have a mile long.
Let's
not gonna
put a
work that way, man.
riser in the middle.
I already told you this before, man. We already went over this multiple times.
Yeah, and go
It's
on.
okay.
Where is that? Where's the water in
If
relation
you
to the
say
straight line that we've just drawn?
elevation follows a horizontal line, you're a flat earther. It's all right, man. It's okay.
Well, didn't you just say that the same elevation was a horizontal line?
No, I didn't. I said it's not a horizontal line.
It's not
You
the
say
same
it is.
elevation.
Man, you're funny.
Okay, so
What's your
let's say,
horizontal end?
let's say at one end it's at 1 meter, and the other end, obviously, it's at 1 meter at the other end. What's it at the middle? The water level.
From the elevation of it?
Yeah.
Oh, it'd be lower.
It'd be lower. Lower than the
if the level's a
horizontal.
horizontal line. Yeah, if the level is a horizontal line, it'd be lower.
So the water, the upspout in the middle would be lower than the straight line that goes from one end to the other.
I'm just saying, if your level was perfectly horizontal, then the elevation would be lower in the middle.
Lower. The water level that's the riser in the middle is lower.
It's at a lower elevation, yeah.
So the horizontal that goes from one end to the other is lower in the middle.
Yes, as you travel along that
I think that
horizontal
sounds like
line,
one of the
you're
arms of LIGO,
doesn't
it?
As you travel along,
isn't that
that
one like one of the
horizontal
arms
level
of
line,
LIGO?
Your elevation is changing.
Doesn't sound very horizontal, though. You did
See,
say it was
that's the thing. You
horizontal
guys-
from
see,
from
that's
one end.
exactly.
No, you
That's my
said
point.
you said it was
That's my point.
horizontal from one end to
That's
the
my
other.
point. That's
He's a
my
flat
point, though. You
earther.
guys think
He's a flat
you guys seem to
earther,
think-
obviously. He thinks it's horizontal.
No, you
He's a
are.
concaver.
Yeah. Well,
It's
I'm
concave
concaver
now.
as well, yeah.
I'm not.
But you said it was
guys are flat
horizontal.
earthers. No,
You
you're
said
saying
if it's
the
horizontal
elevation
from one end
follows
to
a
the
horizontal line.
hang on. You said if it's horizontal from one end to the other, the middle riser would be lower than the
Elevation
horizontal.
would have a lower elevation, yes, because elevation doesn't follow a horizontal line. You think it
Well,
does,
what-
and that's why you're a flat earther.
That horizontal line is not the Earth, sir.
No, it's the level.
You
It's
realise you're
horizontal.
really weird going round saying people that
You're
know
really
horizontal is horizontal are flat earthers. How
No,
long
what
have
I'm
how long
saying,
have you
if you
had
think-
this delusion?
Bro, if you think elevation follows a horizontal line, you're a flat earther. That's all. I'm saying.
Elevation, look, I have to keep saying this. It doesn't follow a horizontal line. It goes up and down.
As the elevation changes, I get what you're saying, but if you stay at the same elevation, you're not following a horizontal line.
Well, it's not
What do
horizontal.
you call that line then?
You think it does?
What do you
which is why
call
you're a
that
flat
line
earther.
then? Stop worrying about
That's why
what
you're a
people
flat
think.
earther.
What do you call that line?
What do I call which line?
The line you established is a horizontal.
The horizontal line between 2 points that share the same elevation.
Okay.
And as you travel around that horizontal line, your elevation changes.
Yeah. Yeah, here's
From
another
the
one.
horizontal.
Have you seen contour lines
Yes.
on maps?
Yeah, topography.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're like horizontal slices, aren't they?
Yeah, you're assuming that elevation
No, I'm
follows
just
a
asking you.
horizontal line, which is why you're a flat earther. Exactly. Yes. Thank you.
The contour lines
Thank you.
are horizontal slices through the land, right? Okay.
Can we just get down to this guy's logic and say that because he goes around calling people flat earthers because they say horizontal whatever, that he himself then becomes what we like to call a wanker. So, by your logic, Darth, no matter what you say, you are forever a wanker.
Okay.
I mean, this is your level of logic. This is how ridiculous you sound.
How ridiculous.
Yeah.
If you think
You're obsessed with
elevation
the shape.
follows
You're
a
obsessed with the shape of the
horizontal
Earth.
line.
You're a
No,
surveyor
I'm not
going
obsessed.
round calling people flat
He's not
earthers
a
for
surveyor.
stating.
I'm
Don't
not
do
Yeah,
that.
no, he
I'm not
claims.
calling
Yeah,
He
people
he's not.
flat earthers.
claims to be. He then
I'm
goes
saying
around calling people flat. Yeah, I know, because you're insane, mate. You're obsessed with
whoever
the
says
shape of
that,
the Earth. You want to
no,
label
I'm
people
not
flat
obsessed. It's
earthers
just
so that
entertaining.
they can enter into
I'm
the
at work right
delusion with
now.
you. Yeah, you're at
I'm at work
work.
right
Why are you
now. It's kind
talking
of
about the
fun
shape of the Earth? It's a delusion you have.
because
We
I work
don't
by
share
myself
it.
and I get bored. I listen
Yeah,
to
yeah, we
music
don't
most of the
share your
time. Then I come
delusion.
on here.
Yep.
What
Okay.
delusion?
Yep.
What
Your flat
delusion?
Earth delusion.
My delusion that elevation doesn't follow a horizontal line?
No, you seem to be obsessed with flat Earth.
No, I'm not.
What you? All
Yeah,
I've heard
you are.
from
You're
your mouth is
recruiting for
you're
the Flat Earth
flat Earth,
Society,
flat
mate.
Earth.
No, I'm saying you are.
Oh, this is like being at fucking school again, mate. You go around calling people stupid names. I go back to what I said at the beginning.
Like
By
calling
your
people wankers?
logic, forever you're known as a
like calling
wanker.
people wankers? Yes, going around
Yeah.
calling people stupid names and then you just go ahead and call me a wanker. That's funny.
Yes, I know it is stupid, isn't it? Isn't it, Darth?
And
Yes, it is
yes,
very
what you're doing is
stupid.
stupid.
Yes,
Yes, what you're doing is
yes.
very
I'm
stupid.
glad you can see.
Just holding up a mirror, Garth. Just holding up a mirror.
Yeah. I don't know whether
It's like,
you're I don't know what you call it when like Darth here facilitates this other group of people that go round calling people Nazis.
No.
No? Are
I
you
don't call
sure?
you a Nazi unless you're
Is there
acting like a
not?
Nazi.
Is there not a group of people that say if you're a flat earther, then you're a Nazi, anti-vaxxer? Oh, and worse actually, the P word.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's going
Yes.
round now as well. But other
Yeah.
people are saying. So are you facilitating that so other people can call people even worse names, right? It's like a
No,
gateway.
I'm not
Were
for
you
that.
going around calling people who know that horizontals are parallel? You're going around calling them something so other people can then call them child abusers and Nazis and all sorts of other
not at all.
things. Yeah, I think that's why
Not
you're
at
doing
all.
it, right?
No, not at all.
No. Well,
Nope.
when somebody tells you they're not a flat earther, why do you seem like you have to keep calling them flat earthers?
I understand that they're saying they're not flat earthers, but what I'm trying to explain to that person is if they think that elevation
They
follows a
think that
horizontal line.
horizontals are parallel.
No.
Yes.
No, you're
Yes.
I didn't say those
Horizontals,
words.
all
Listen,
horizontals are parallel. I'm telling you that now. Does that make me a flat earther?
No.
No. Does me knowing that a level being a tool that establishes a horizontal plane of reference, does that make me a flat earther?
If you think level is a horizontal line, then yes.
A level is a tool for establishing a horizontal plane of reference.
If you think level follows a horizontal line, then yes, you're a flat earther.
All right, so what you're saying is all bricklayers that use a level to create a horizontal reference for a wall, for instance, are flat earthers.
He's pretending to be a surveyor.
Absolutely not.
He obviously knows that a level establishes a horizontal plane of reference, or he would do if he were an actual surveyor. It's obvious he's not.
I haven't said that he was.
He is. He's pretending that he is.
7 years.
Saying,
I'm not pretending.
whoever he is, whoever this guy is, whoever you are, whatever you do, whatever you claim to do. Right now, are you saying that bricklayers that use levels to form horizontal walls are flat earthers?
No.
Right. So why are you saying it to Bev then?
I'm not.
You're saying that level is not horizontal. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
What? So that don't you, I mean, that's ridiculous. Like I said, I'm a bricklayer. I use levels to create horizontals. They're the same thing. They're synonymous. It's the same thing.
You say
This is
so.
going to be
I
this is
disagree.
going to be massive.
Over-
this dude,
over
you
very
do
long
realize
distances,
you've just called everyone that knows that level is horizontal a flat earther. That's you.
Yes.
Who are you?
Yes.
Dunking Darth, the guy that officially says that if you know that level's horizontal, then you're a flat earther. Is that what you're saying?
If you think that, then yes.
Right. If you know it, not think it. If you
think
know
that-
it.
No.
If
Well,
you
if
can
think
prove
knowing
it.
is
You
based
can
off of
prove
your
it, Darth.
understanding of what your personal experiences are, then yeah. Like, I know that level isn't follow a horizontal line because I've done the reciprocal zenith angle test with my instrument. So I know it doesn't do that. I know
1400
it
feet,
doesn't
wasn't
do
it?
that. So I
Yeah, it's okay. That's okay. So you're willing to put up a test, you say? You've got your way of doing it. So if we get a water level that's how long? Whatever distance you've got, like 500 feet, 500 meters, something like that. Yeah.
I mean, it has to be extremely accurate. You'd have to be able to tell, like,
Precise, yeah.
over a distance.
Water levels.
Yeah,
yep.
over the distance of just a few hundred feet, a second of a degree.
They're the most accurate.
I mean, that's,
no, water levels
that's
don't do
fraction
angles.
Of a fraction
Oh.
of a
We don't do angles with water
like,
levels.
it's
What was yours?
extremely small.
400 feet, was it, you said, or more, was it? Or 1400?
No,
It was about 500
400
meters.
Oh,
something like that.
So you remember. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember.
How far?
Yeah, it was like
4
14 or 1500 feet, something along those lines.
3 arc seconds, wasn't it?
No, 13.
13
go.
arc seconds.
Remember.
There we
There you
go.
go.
Right.
You remember.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I can
So
remember
you
it
can't
because
be, but
there was a guy
so
that
you
used to
can't-
pretend he was from Maine, right? I used to hang around a bit with Jesse Kozlowski and George Nutsack. Larry's one of those guys as well. Don't know whether you've heard of those guys, but they're not around anymore. There's only you.
I've heard of the Maine surveyor.
Well, that guy was the one that did the thing before you, right?
I'm sure lots of people have done it before me.
Yeah. And you sure you can cite 13 seconds, can you, to the second? Over that distance?
My machine can.
Yeah.
Me personally, no. My machine can.
Okay. And what's your optics like?
the GPS,
My
though, you didn't
personal
use
optics? No, I didn't use a GPS for that test.
Okay. You
Yeah, you
use
said
the
you did.
sighting on the angles, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So what are the optics on your particular...
You want me to give me the specs of the machine?
Right? Yeah, the optics. What?
It's a Focus 35. You can look up the
times
exact
35
details. No, a Focus 35 is the model.
Okay. What's the optics though?
Spectra Geospatial Focus 35.
Yeah, the guy who used to pretend he was from Maine, he had a 30 times scope.
No, you're not listening to me. I'm not talking about the scope. You want to know the specs of the machine? I'm giving you the model, so you can look up the specs of the machine.
Is the optic?
I understand
What's
that,
wrong with you,
but
man?
there's nothing wrong with me. He's saying that he's thinking that I said, oh, Focus 35, meaning it's like 35 times the focus. No, that's not what I'm saying.
I said you can look
the
it
model,
up first. I'm not thinking that.
The model of the equipment I am using is a Spectra
No, maybe
Geospatial
answer the question.
Focus 35,
No.
meaning if
Maybe
you want to know the specs,
try
you
answering
can
the
easily
question
look it up.
instead of being a fucking dick.
How am I being a dick?
So can you
You
bring
asked for
this magnification? Because this is your device, not ours, not Beth's device,
Right.
your device. So he was asking magnification.
Yes, and I'm working right now. So I'm giving you the model so you can look it up online and you will get the specs of the machine.
Yeah, like I say,
What don't you
I've
understand
got an
about
auto
that?
level. It's got a 32 times scope. I know that because it's my fucking equipment.
What's the range of your auto level?
What do you mean the range?
Yeah, like how accurate is it up? Like what's the distance it's accurate up to?
That's what we said. What is your optical range? Mine's 32, so I know how far I can see because we went out there and did a test to prove that the guy who pretended he was from Maine was a lying shit. Are we going to have to do the same with you as well?
I mean, you can do whatever you want to do.
Okay.
You want to keep preaching the flat Earth? Keep preaching the flat Earth. That's fine,
dude. You'll find that I'm the guy that the flat earthers want to ban. They're the ones, they can't talk to me. I'm definitely not a flat earther.
You say you're not.
The flat earthers will tell you I'm definitely not a flat earther.
You say that, but you assert premises that would indicate a flat Earth.
No, I'm telling you, it's not a flat Earth. If that's what calls a flat Earth,
I understand.
then are you the same?
Saying
You're
that.
saying the same thing as I am, right? The Earth's not flat.
Well, I'm saying the Earth's not flat.
Well, isn't that what you just said, though? Isn't that what you just said? That seems to be what the flat Earthers say.
Back it up.
Because the flat Earthers do say that as well. The flat Earthers say it's not flat.
But then you assert premises that would indicate a flat Earth. I don't do that. You do.
Indicate a flat Earth to delusional people, perhaps.
No, to rational people.
Super chat, thank you very much. Good. I was using my GPS on my way home tonight and I realised I was driving way too far above the road. Glad I made it. I'm good. It's a good job he got back.
Oh, you think that's the type of GPS system that I use to get elevations? No.
No, not like the one that Jesse Kozlowski put in his car when he drove over the bridge.
No, not that. I use a Spectre Geospatial SB80 for that one.
Right, so how about this? Have you heard of Lake Pontchartrain?
Yes.
Right. How much higher is the centre than the ends?
I don't know.
Oh.
Why would I know that off the top of my head?
Well, that should be folklore, that, shouldn't it?
No, not really.
What?
Why would I care about that? I have experiments that prove that level doesn't follow a horizontal line. So why would I care about that? I have actual experiments.
Blue Marble said that, and Jesse Kozlowski said it's like 90 foot.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
A 90-foot vertical change, that is.
Wow.
From the horizontal.
Elevation change or height change?
Yeah, it's an elevation from the horizontal. If you put a point at each end of the bridge and draw your horizontal all the way across, then Blue Marble and Jesse Kozlowski said he was measuring from the horizontal a vertical height of 90 feet. And since we measure elevation change based on a horizontal, then that 90 feet that Blue Marble said Lake Pontchartrain is higher. It's always higher in the middle, right? Well, you said lower, didn't you? Sorry, you did say lower earlier, didn't you? And Blue Marble says higher. Jesse Kozlowski said higher. It's tricky, that one. Maybe it's higher to get lower. Perhaps. I don't know.
Yeah, he said lower. What was the water doing? What do you think the water would be doing then, Mr. Darth?
Have you heard of blue marble science?
I've heard of the blue marble picture.
You've never heard of blue marble science, though?
What is he, like some character or something?
Yeah, you could say that. He's got connections to these old school globe surveyors.
Really?
Yeah.
What's that mean?
Well, he's done, he's done a bit of research into the surveying.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, well, you go. Here's one of the things that they did. See that in the chat there? That was Chaiki. Is Chaiki all right,
No,
or
I'm
should
not
we be
looking at the
saying,
chat.
has he gone to go and see
I'm working,
George?
so I don't see the chat.
Okay.
Again.
Right, well,
Can
there's
I ask
there's two
George
elevation profiles there in the chat if you want to have a look at them at some point. That's Blue Marble Science and Chaiki did that. Blue Marble Science. He's got a water level, right? Have you seen Blue Marble Science water level? That's in the chat as well. That's got higher. You said lower, didn't you? You did say lower.
Lower
You
elevation.
did say lower.
Said lower elevation.
What, the water level?
Lower.
Lower
Middle is a
elevation.
lower
You did say
elevation.
lower, yeah.
Lower in the middle, yeah.
Lower elevation.
Okay.
You say lower elevation on straight line?
Yes, elevation doesn't follow a straight line. If you say elevation follows a straight line, you are in fact a flat earther. That's what I keep saying to you guys.
Okay.
I don't
And if
understand why you don't
what
get it.
happens if you say it's lower in the center? What does that mean?
But that flat, that straight line is not the Earth, you idiot.
What does it mean if you have the water level in the center lower? What does that mean?
No, not the water level is low. You're misunderstanding. It's all right, man.
You did say
I
that the
don't know how
water
many
level
times.
was lower in the center. You
I
definitely
said
said
lower.
it was a lower elevation.
the water
In
level.
the end.
You
If
said
the water level,
the water
following
level is a
horizontal
lower
line-
elevation in the center, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, is that a lower elevation in reality or a lower elevation on the globe?
Well, the globe is reality.
Okay. So it's the water level is lower on the globe model in the center.
Well, I'm not looking at the diagram that you're showing. So
No, I'm just trying to go off the top of your head. You're a surveyor, right? You'd know what the water does between here and there, right? In the middle, it's lower, is what you said.
I've told you what I said many
I
times.
know. You said lower. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you don't understand the difference between elevation and height.
I know that the water level's an equal altitude. I know that, right?
I know what horizontal is.
But you say it's
And the line.
lower, not equal.
Yeah,
lower
exactly.
in
You
the
think
center.
You think elevation is a horizontal line, which is why you're a flat earther.
No, I know.
Okay.
A water level is a tool for establishing a horizontal plane of reference. Ask me how I know it. Ask me how I know that.
That's fine.
Go on, ask me how I know it.
I'm sorry, Ben, but I have a more important question. I need to know why this guy is so adamant on calling you a flat earther.
Because he's a globe surveyor, and this is the best defense that they've got, unfortunately.
No, it's because he asserts premises that indicate a flat Earth.
The Earth's not flat. If that
Then stop
indicates
asserting
a flat
premises
Earth, then you've got something wrong with you. But, you know, you are model afflicted, obviously.
No, when you say elevation follows a horizontal line, you are saying the Earth is flat.
I'm not saying the Earth's flat. I'm saying the Earth's not flat. That's actually what I am
So then
saying.
elevation doesn't follow a horizontal line, then, right?
Elevation changes. It's all over the place. You must have seen it. Definitely doesn't follow a horizontal line.
I mean, it
goes
said
up
how you
and
purposely
down,
just
and horizontal
avoid-
lines don't slope. They don't
avoid
go
the
up,
fact that
and they don't
you
go down.
don't want to admit that you're a flat earther. It's okay.
I'm not a flat earther.
No, you just don't
Are we
want to
going
admit
for a
you are.
record again? Because I must be the person who said this the most on the internet in the last 5 years, guaranteed. The person that said I'm not a flat earther the most. Because the most people have called me a flat earther. It's weird that, isn't it? The amount of times I've said I'm not a flat earther.
How many times can we get Darth to say he's not a wanker? Darth?
Well, it depends on what your definition of a wanker is. I might want to be a wanker.
Well, the definition using your logic is when you say something that I think makes you a wanker.
Thank you, Emma.
So
I guess I'm a wanker.
okay, so you're just a wanker then. You just sit here all
guess
night
so.
and call you a wanker until you have to deny that you're a wanker over and over again.
If me saying that,
This is
you say if you
entertainment for
think
the
elevation
globe,
follows a
isn't it?
horizontal
I mean,
line,
this
means you're a flat earther.
actually
entertainment.
It means I'm a wanker, then by
this
all
is
means, I'm a
actually
wanker.
how
I'm okay with
insane
that.
you are. See, you're trying now to justify it because I've made you look like a fool, and now you're trying to justify it. There
I
is
don't
no
think I don't
justification
think you've done
for
that.
doing what you've done. You're
I
obsessed
don't
with
think
flat
you've done
Earth.
that.
That's a you problem. That's not a
Nah.
Bev problem.
I'm obsessed with having some entertaining time while I'm working by myself.
You
and
must have
talking
a
to
really
random people.
You must have a really shitty job if you need entertaining by going into Discords and calling people things that they're not.
No, I'm calling things that they say indicate something that they realize that might hurt their coping mechanism.
Yeah, as I said, you're just a wanker.
If you think so.
Yeah.
You agreed what horizontal was. You agreed, so that puts you in the same camp.
No.
Don't worry, Darth, you're not the only wanker out there.
Oh, I know that.
Can I just clear one thing up? Just if you've got a you're aware of the water level device, yeah? I think I've heard you.
No, I don't have a water level device. I have a total station.
I know. But you can conceptualize the water level. You got two ends. Equal. They're at equal elevation, or one end no higher than the other. Horizontal.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Is he a flat earther?
Must be.
No.
Yeah. I think by your own definition, you are a flat earther, mate.
Nope.
How would you know it's not horizontal?
Well, we just
with
said
the
a
water
water
level.
level is a tool for establishing a horizontal. It does establish a horizontal. So.
But you said the middle was lower.
It doesn't matter. The water level establishes a horizontal.
Actually, wait.
Therefore,
You said
he's a
the two
flat earther by his own
Well,
rules.
hang on.
Level establishes horizontal. That's flat earth belief. You said
Yeah.
that yourself.
You're flat earther. You're a flat earther.
You're a flat earther.
No.
Told you were a flat earther.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
not
I
joining
told
your
you
weird little cult. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You're a flat earther and you're a wanker.
You establish horizontal.
Man.
You flat
Damn,
earth wanker.
Terrible. That's terrible.
Oh dear. I can see how
What are we
Oakley
gonna
gets carried
do?
away. But you just established a horizontal. You agreed to that. It was horizontal, so it is possible to establish a horizontal.
Yeah, I never denied it wasn't.
But somehow the middle one was lower, would be lower. Lower than the horizontal.
No, I didn't say lower than our.
You did.
don't
You said it's
understand.
lower.
The middle of the horizontal line will be at a lower elevation than the two endpoints. That's what I
No,
said.
but it's not horizontal then. You said it was horizontal.
No, you just seem to think that elevation follows a horizontal
No,
line.
no,
I
no.
don't. That's the only difference between us.
You said the water level was horizontal. Now you're saying the
Well,
middle is lower.
No, you told me the water level was horizontal. I'm telling
You
you, if
agreed
the
it
water
was.
level, the scenario brought up is that if you have a horizontal level that stretches a very far distance,
Horizontal, yeah.
that the two ends, if this horizontal level, if the two ends are at the same elevation, as you travel to the middle, your elevation will decrease, but you're still traveling along a horizontal line because elevation doesn't follow a horizontal line. If you think elevation does follow a horizontal line, then you think the earth is flat.
But it's always a horizontal from one end to the other with a water level.
So you're going into a hollow in the ground as you get towards the middle. Is that what you're saying? You're going downhill a bit as a sort of dip in the land.
Yeah, like if you walk with one end of the water level and leave one end in a different place, is that always a horizontal between those two?
When I say that the middle is a lower elevation, you assume that I'm saying that there's a dip. I'm not saying there's a dip.
Yeah, but it can't be horizontal if it's lower in the middle.
What are you saying if it's not a dip being lower? What exactly is it that you are saying?
That the ground is a sphere.
What?
What? That's what a dip
What's
in
that
it.
got to do with the level?
It has everything to do with it.
Go on.
I've been through it multiple times. I don't feel like going through it
Like the
again.
mountains and the valleys?
No, not the mountains and the valleys.
You established the level. What's the ground got to do with the level?
It has to do with the elevation.
Yeah, you measure it from the level. I'm really doubting you and your surveying abilities.
Well, we wouldn't employ him anyway.
I'm doubting your logical comprehension facilities.
You've got a horizontal from A to B, and somehow in the middle it's not horizontal anymore.
No.
How is that logical?
It is horizontal in the middle.
Elevation does not follow a horizontal line. How many times do I have to keep saying it? Elevation does not follow a horizontal line. So if you stay at the same elevation, you're not traveling along a horizontal line.
Elevation does not follow it?
If you are traveling, on a horizontal line, your elevation changes.
It's not
That's what I'm
backsight
saying.
and foresight. Have you ever done that?
Yes, I'm literally doing it right now.
Backsight and a foresight, right?
I'm actually literally doing a foresight.
Does the elevation change from the backsight to the foresight? Hey, yo. Does the elevation change from the backsight to the foresight?
Of course it does. Of course it does.
Because you measure it. Changing. You measure it changing from a horizontal. Now, does the horizontal change in elevation?
If you stay at the same elevation, you do not travel along a horizontal line.
Does the horizontal change in elevation? Hello?
Very logical comprehension skills. I don't understand why.
Does the horizontal change in elevation?
Do you have any 7-year-olds around?
Does
maybe I can explain it to them so they can explain it to you.
Horizontal change in elevation?
Do you have any 7-year-olds
Does
around? I can
the
explain it to them,
horizontal
and then they can explain it to
change
you.
in elevation?
Do you have any 7-year-olds around so I can explain it to
Yes,
them?
I'm
And they
We
7.
can
don't have
explain it
any
to you?
kids
7.
around for you now. Sorry,
Damn.
that's unfortunate.
Right.
Just
So,
adults in
Uncle
this house. My children are all grown up now. Thank you very much. Answer the
Uncle
question.
Duncan.
Does horizontal change in elevation?
Yes.
Okay, good. Any rate? Can you give us something a bit more to go off? Let's say in a mile. How much
About 8
elevation
inches.
change is there for a horizontal in 1 mile?
About 8 inches.
So there's a slope of horizontal over a mile of 8
No,
inches.
not a slope. It's not a slope.
What do you mean it's not a slope? Yeah. Rise over run.
No, it's not a slope.
Rise
It's a
over run.
parabolic
1
slope.
mile. 1 mile.
It's a
Run.
quadratic equation.
8
It's a quadratic
inches.
equation.
Rise.
It's a line. It's a
Rise over
quadratic
run.
equation.
Rise over run.
Quadratic equation.
Rise over run.
Quadratic
Have you heard of
equation.
that?
straight line.
Being a surveyor.
Horizontal.
Yes, if you take 2 points, but
Okay,
you're
well,
not,
that's what we have.
that's
We've
the
got a
thing. We're
mile.
not just talking about 2 different points.
We've got a
We're not
mile,
talking-
yeah. One at the beginning of a mile and the other point at the end of a mile.
Horizontal.
To which you
Horizontal
said
line.
the horizontal over that distance changed 8 inches. So therefore, there is a slope of that
Not
horizontal
horizontal.
of 8 inches over a mile. Rise over run.
Yes, but it's not a linear slope as you continue. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a quadratic equation.
Oh.
It's not horizontal then. Not
But yeah,
horizontal
so
then.
that's the horizontal that's changing. Is it?
What I'm trying to tell you is
If
that,
we
like,
extrapolated
at-
that out, what
at
shape would
2
your
miles,
horizontal be?
At 2 miles, it's not 16 inches. At 3 miles, it's not 24 inches. At 4 miles, it's not 32.
What
It's
shape?
not a
What
linear
shape's your
equation.
horizontal?
That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
What shape's
Yeah,
your
what's the
horizontal?
shape of your horizontal? That's the, yeah.
Yes, but
That's
what
interesting.
you are saying, therefore, by implication, you are saying that a horizontal is curved line, parable.
No, the level is a curved line.
No.
Same as
Oh.
elevation.
No, you've just said horizontal.
It's
mate.
horizontal.
Oh, no. Make your mind up. It's the horizontal that changes elevation, right? That's what you said.
No, you asked me how much vertical change will you have over a mile, and I
Of a
said 8
horizontal.
inches. That
And you said 8 inches. So the
yeah.
horizontal,
So like, so
the
if you had your
horizontal
total
does
station,
change
yes,
in
so
elevation
watch,
8 inches.
Let me explain this to you. So if you had your total station set up, and you had it set at level, at 0 degrees level, so like 90 degrees from plumb, if you were to shine that a mile away, and you were at the same height as the total station was set up, it would be 8 inches below what the total station is looking at.
No. Who's got hold of the stick then? The marker stick at the other end.
You use a bipod or a tripod.
Does he know what he's doing then? Did you set that up then? There's got to be something wrong there, surely.
Well, if you say so. But you're not the
Well,
one
I
using
mean-
the equipment. I am. So
Horizontal is
There you go.
horizontal. It's not a slope. But what shape is it? Yeah, that was the thing. What shape is it? Is it a straight angle
Earth is a sphere.
down 8 inches, or is it?
The
No,
Earth
no,
is
you're
a sphere.
horizontal from your total station. Is
What
it a
shape is a
laser
horizontal?
or? Yeah, the horizontal is it a straight line from your total station to the 8 inches lower at the other end? Oh, right.
Yeah, it just wouldn't be at 90 degrees from
I thought you
plumb.
said it wasn't linear.
Yeah, it wouldn't be at 90 degrees from plumb. You would have to tilt it. You would have to dip it down a couple degrees,
It curves,
like a couple.
curves, or sort of gradually
No,
curves 8 inches down. The horizontal, I mean.
I don't know. I can't go through it this many times with you guys. If you seem to be.
Yeah,
failing to
but
understand.
well, look,
I'll tell you what.
look, I understand what horizontal is.
There's these courses that you can take on.
No, I don't need
They're
that.
free to download. You know,
You're on the field. You're in the field.
I think you do.
How about
I think
we?
you do.
How
I
about
think
we
they're
devise a
they're
test
basic
each of
surveying
us, right?
courses.
You do
They're
yours,
basic surveying
1,400
courses.
feet. We'll
They
call
call
it
the
500 meters, right? And a way to find
called the
out
CTS exam.
who's the most accurate at measuring horizontal. Would that be okay?
I suggest you take these courses.
Do you want to take that on? It's like a practical demonstration of how to what would you call it? Establish horizontal over a distance of. Are you all right? 500 meters. Does that sound good? Sounds like a manageable distance. Most people would be able to do that. I would imagine a lot of people could come and join in with that one. And we just get 2 points, A and B. And the idea is, we'll have to put some points in the middle as well, right? Put one in the middle. And the idea is to measure the change of the point in the middle. Now, think it might be 2 different departments, right? One for you to calculate how much change there would be. And then one to actually measure it to see how accurate you are. What do you reckon? Fair enough. This arena could do with some sort of action, with that sort of stuff, couldn't it?
Yeah, so if you want to have people go to their local surveying store, I'm sure you can find it and rent the equipment. Probably cost you a few $100 for the day. You can easily recreate this same experiment.
You can buy an auto level for about 120 quid now. It used to be able to get them for
No. You don't want to buy an auto level.
Why not?
That's only accurate for, because you want to be able to do have a machine that can give you the angles, the distances.
It's
the
only
slope,
500 meters.
all that thing.
5 turns.
Yeah.
Easy do that, right? People, even beginners could do that. Learn to set the tool up and see how accurate they can get. I mean, they'd be able to do it too.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem with your auto level machine. That I guarantee your auto level machine is only accurate up to a few 100 meters.
What's your accuracy of yours?
Actually, over a kilometer double run, 1 millimeter. Imagine that.
1 millimeter?
Yeah.
I doubt that.
What's the accuracy of your Focus 35 then?
Over what distance? You want to know the maximum distance?
Well, you can do it from whatever your parameters are, but it's got a general.
It says it's 2,000 feet up to 1/10 of a foot, I believe. I think, or something along that line.
But what in terms of percentage? Percentage of tolerance, error tolerance.
So I guess that would be.
You'd have to know that, wouldn't you?
A tenth of a foot over 2,000 feet. And yeah, I mean that's like.
What sort of percentage is that?
1/10 of a foot over 2,000 feet.
Are you going to go for the nutsack drop, or are you going for the hump? Which one are we? Which one do you want to try? And
nutsack drop?
Measure?
I don't understand what that means.
A nutsack drop, yeah, the full nutsack using the full quadratic over the full distance. You use the 8 inches, like you said. Because that's not a hump in the middle, is it? It's not like lower in the middle there. That's just lower at one end, isn't it?
Well, what happens when you plot out that quadratic formula? What do you get?
When you plot
a sphere?
Plot out what?
Do you get a sphere?
I don't get a sphere, no.
When you plot out the quadratic formula, really?
You're establishing horizontals.
Yeah, is that your horizontal shape?
Oh my God.
Quadratic. Or is the horizontal a straight line?
You must have known the error with your 13 arc seconds. I mean, that's not a lot, so you must have known. Because you did say on shorter distances, the error, the measurement would be too small. You couldn't say whether that was error or not.
I take it there's a load of Globe guys that were watching because they've all left. It's tough, isn't it, when you've got a challenge on, and you know you've made a challenge with a not flat earther as well. That's handy, isn't it?
It's tough when you're trying to get a challenge from a person that thinks they're not a flat earther but actually is.
No, we've just got a test for a straight line lying in a plane. That's all we've got. It's like Euclidean, but hey, you want to class it as a flat Earth because you think it's flat Earth, don't you?
No, you do.
No, I don't think it's flat Earth. I know it's not flat Earth.
What does your 8 inches translate to?
But you assert premises that would indicate a flat Earth.
No, the premise is that a straight line lies within a plane. A water level is a tool for establishing a horizontal plane of reference. Right? We know the Earth's not flat. We know it.
Well, you know it as well. That's the surprising thing.
Mm.
Through your job, that would have been obvious. Talking from exactly the same page of the book, That's what's so odd about it. I mean, what Bev's describing is exactly what I imagine you'd be dealing with every day of your working life.
How soon do you reckon you could do your test then?
Which test?
The horizontal test.
The reciprocal zenith angle test?
Yeah. The slope of a horizontal, right? That's what you're doing, yeah?
No.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what we've just agreed, isn't it?
You said it was. You said it was slope.
No, I didn't.
You said it was 8 inches lower at one end.
Yes.
What?
Yeah, but he's not going to do that. It's 500 meters or what was it? 1440. Was it?
1400, he said.
Why do you think just because something is 8 inches lower that it following a straight line? Why do you assume
1440.
You said it was horizontal, but then you said it wasn't because it's 8 inches lower. You did. You said it was 8 inches lower at the other end. So
that doesn't mean it's following a linear slope. That does not mean it's following a linear slope.
It just doesn't sound very horizontal to me when you say that. You've then lost the horizontal in my mind. You had horizontal, and then it's 8 inches lower at the other end, from one end to the other.
Because you think elevation
that's not
follows a horizontal line because you're a flat earther.
Well, it's either curving or it's the slope.
Explain to me if elevation follows a horizontal line, how you're not a flat earther.
Well, look, we had it with the water level, and you agreed it was horizontal. Now, if you walked along there, hang on, don't
you
keep.
Walk on the same elevation, you're walking on a horizontal line.
What I think is that if you follow that horizontal from one end of the water level to the other, you may change in elevation as you walk up and down the undulations of the surface of the Earth. But the horizontal won't change. You might, going up and down, and depending on what the terrain is on that mile.
If you think you walk along a line that stays at the same elevation, that you're walking along a horizontal line, not a curved line.
No, you're not walking on the horizontal line, no. You could be walking beside it. You have to be tightrope walking. Just saying, if you're walking on the surface of the Earth, you could be going up and down in relation to the horizontal, but the horizontal would always be horizontal. That's what I think. That's what I think and believe, that it would be like that.
You're coping.
No, I'm not coping. I'm not. How's the horizontal change from one end to the other?
You really are coping.
I might, or you might, if you're walking up and down, and that's how you would measure the elevation change from that horizontal. And then you would work out the elevation change of what you're walking with. So you could then say that the elevation doesn't follow the horizontal, because it rises and falls from the horizontal that you established, that you said was horizontal, straight, not sloping or curving.
It's okay. You are coping. It's okay.
Well, no, I'm not. I'm right where I think I should be.
You are coping. You're coping.
Really?
Yes.
Oh dear. So your horizontal changes, then, is that what you're saying? It's not horizontal. It either is horizontal or it's
No,
not horizontal.
I'm.
It's a choice.
All I'm saying is that if you follow the same elevation, you're not walking on a horizontal line. That's all I'm saying. If you stay
No,
at
we're
the same
following
exact
we're
elevation.
following the horizontal.
If you stay at the same exact elevation, you're not following a horizontal line. That's all I'm saying. You say you do, which is why you think the Earth is flat.
Yeah, so what you're saying is that horizontal changes elevation, right?
Yes. Yes, now you got it.
There you go. A surveyor that says
It's lower in the middle, is it?
change elevation.
Now you got it. And you think
You say
elevation stays? Do you think elevation doesn't change the heart?
I think there's zero slope to a horizontal. Yes, zero. Zilch.
But it's lower in the middle, though. So does it dip and then go down to 8 inches?
Now you understand. Now you understand why you're a flat
It
earther.
doesn't,
Now you get it.
I think what it is, it doesn't make people flat earthers. It just means that you've got no logic.
Yeah.
No, it means I do have the logic.
I don't know how you've managed to survive being a surveyor. If you
doesn't
honestly believe
very
that,
easily.
that's crazy.
He doesn't. He's got a
No, I think I was talking to
doesn't
some
have to.
surveyors a few years ago, right? And I can believe that they've completely hidden how surveying practices work from them. They just point at things and press a button, right?
Yeah. No, his is totally automatic. It's robotic. And his is just connected to the GPS, so he doesn't do anything. He just puts some parameters in from the GPS into his total station, and it just goes beep, beep, records it in there, and then he goes back to the office and puts it into the computer, and it's his work done.
So
and
that,
then
see,
he just
that
chats
was,
to the people.
it must be. I did surveying before the GPS systems got brought in. So maybe that's what was the flat earth surveying, right? It's changed since then. It must have done, right? Because it was just standard practice of how to do differential leveling, and like Spot On still does it. So they've obviously not updated any of the builders or the surveyors that do actual plotting and stuff like that. They've not updated any of those. Just the Discord surveyors, the unlicensed ones. They're the ones that have been updated, right? The ones that have to leave. Because you've not got like a business name, have you? For your surveying practice.
Yeah, like I'm gonna give out my.
Yeah, of course you wouldn't. You're talking shit. So like, yeah. If you are a real surveyor, you get sacked.
Why would I trust the trolls of Discord with my personal information?
It's YouTube.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, we know. We know. Like, you're making shit up, and you have to.
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm not making anything up.
Horizontal. That's lower in the middle, and 8 inches lower the other end. Come on. That little robot lady just did.
I shit earlier today. I'm pretty empty.
Yeah. Right. Well, you know that we have a test, the straight line test, we call it, using water levels. It's a geometric test. And you say it's not a straight line, right? Or, I mean, it could be a straight line. Because it seems that the horizontal's not a straight line. So could the water level establish a straight line? If the horizontal has a slope to it, or whatever you call it. The water level could establish a straight line? Or could you imagine that it's a straight line? Or do you think we imagine it's a straight line? Do you imagine that we might have falsified Euclidean geometry? Or do you think there is a way to falsify Euclidean geometry? Perhaps. Luckily, we've got a test. Did it a fair bit ago. It's about, well, we went over 600 meters, but like you say, 500 meters. Easily do that. Could even do that at Bedford. Whap one of those out in no time.
No target.
No talking.
Target.
Yeah. It's gone shopping.
Well, he doesn't do it.
No, I'm just in the process of measuring.
Yeah, what you do, you just press a button and then a little voice tells you you're on target or not.
Do you measure straight lines?
Measure all sorts of things.
Yeah, but do you mainly measure straight lines, or do you have do you switch the curvature switch on?
Oh yeah, when I account for Earth's curvature. Yes.
What have you got in your hand now then? A pole with the little dish on the top
I have
and
a
a
Trimble.
readout.
I have a Trimble TSC5 Ranger data collector with using Trimble Access for the program.
Jesse Kozlowski was a rep for Trimble. You ever heard of him?
No.
No.
I'm sure there's lots of reps for Trimble. Very big company.
Yeah, this was right at the beginning, like we say, when GPS was just starting out. He's not around anymore.
Okay.
I'm interested about this test, though. Do you reckon you could reciprocal zenith angle up against the water level?
How does a water level measure the angles?
It doesn't measure angles.
Well, then how are you going to do a reciprocal zenith angle test with the
you
water
do a
level?
reciprocal zenith, and then you put that up against the water level.
I've done it. We went over this. What do you mean put it up against the water level? I don't understand what you mean by that.
Well, the water level will be established, right? So there'll be a point.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
There will be a point at the beginning of the water level and a point at the end of the water level. Yes?
And what's the
Point
biggest
A
what's the biggest water level?
And point B.
Yeah.
Right, so what you would do, you with your reciprocal zenith angle, right, you would be able to measure the drop of A from B and the drop of B from A, wouldn't you? Obviously, the water level will establish it. You'd be able to prove it. We've got a different way of doing it. We've got a more geometric way of showing the straight line. But you'd be able to do that, wouldn't you?
Easy.
We'd be able to, if we were going to go and do it, we'd be able to invite some surveyors to come and, you know, prove the slope of the horizontal, right? Surely there'd be loads of them to do that. I mean, how famous would you be for that? That'd sort this arena out for good and proper, wouldn't it? Like, boom, there you go, look at it.
Famous?
Done.
Yeah, I don't think you'd be that famous.
Drop.
It'd be undeniable though, wouldn't it? Yeah. Proof.
Yeah, have you ever heard of Bedford Level?
Yeah, we talked about it.
6 miles. Imagine how much drop you could get at each end of that. I know when Wallace did it, he got the hump in the middle, but we can forget about that. We'll go for the full nutsack, right? It's a pity. It's a pity everybody's leaving, because this is going to be, this is it. This is what we've been waiting for. Straight line. Terence Howard's questioning a straight line. Whitsit's saying it's impossible. We've got a test to prove a straight line, and you can show that it drops. Right? Or we might be able to falsify Euclidean geometric principles. Imagine how good that'd be.
They give up surveying. They want to get lecture tours.
Yeah. I mean, we're only just, random people on a Discord channel. But we have done a fair bit of stuff, and this is one of the things that we can do. We could definitely do this. I suppose it's just how you interpret the results. I suppose if you explain your methods easily enough to people, then, I mean, that should be self-explanatory, really, shouldn't it?
Yeah, I think he's shy.
I mean, you would think so, but you don't seem to understand basic things. So
Well, it is.
I doubt it.
Geometry, right, is earth measurement. And a water level isn't really earth, is it? Is it? Or would you class a water level as being part of the earth?
Target locked.
So I think he's shy because, I said, it's the first time I've heard him even say he was a surveyor in all the times I've heard him speak. So I think he's probably a bit shy about his surveying.
How many times have you heard me speak?
Oh, quite a lot. I never heard you tell Alpha you were over at 24/7. I've never heard you tell Alpha you were a surveyor, or Jedi, or AJ.
I highly doubt that. If you were to X Alpha, if you were to X Alpha, I guarantee you he would say that I'm a. Well, maybe he wouldn't say I am a surveyor. He would say I claim to be a surveyor.
Yeah,
I guarantee that.
Nathan, never. When you spoke to Nathan, you never told him you were a surveyor.
Nathan Oakley, absolutely, I did, and Radwin chimed in saying that I wasn't. So I absolutely did tell Nathan Oakley that I was a surveyor. He actually mistook me when I said that I had 6 years of experience. He thought I said 60 for some reason.
Are you a plane surveyor?
I'm an ordinary surveyor.
A plane surveyor?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Well, it's a type of surveying. You must have heard of it.
Yes, but like that's a very weird thing to say. Like, are you a plane surveyor, or have you done surveys using planes, like using just assumed coordinates, not using the geoid model? Yes, I've done that.
Yeah, that's
on very small
plane
projects.
surveying.
Yes, that doesn't mean I'm a plane surveyor.
You work on the state coordinate plane, right?
I've also. Yes, that's not.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that is. That's the plane.
Why
right? It's a plane surveyor.
So why is it required to have 4 different GPS zones for New York?
I haven't got a clue. But that's the plane that you work on, right?
You don't?
You
don't have a clue?
I haven't got. I've never been to New York. I don't know. I don't know how their systems work.
It's almost the same for every state. Unless the state's very small, there's going to be multiple GPS zones for the geoid because you can only plot a plane on a sphere for so many distances before it becomes inaccurate.
They have state coordinate planes, though, right?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking.
Internal, different planes within different states.
Within one state, within one state there's multiple planes. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
Okay.
It's called different GPS zones.
Yeah.
So in New York, there's a Long Island zone, there's a New York East zone, there's a New York Central zone, and then there's a New York West zone.
Is there an angular difference between those planes?
The vertical datum is different between them.
The vertical datum?
Usually. Not by much, though.
Is that because of the average?
But like, if I were to use if I was to set up and my GPS and like I was in the GPS zone of Australia, then it would give me a horrible vertical datum.
That's straight, right? The vertical datum, right?
Searching.
It's weird how you just took all of what I just said and just got that.
Yeah, well,
weird.
It is straight, right? The vertical. Perpendicular to the plane. Because that's what perpendicular means. It's okay. You're not fighting against the flat earth. We're not flat earthers. Don't worry.
You just say things that indicate a flat earth. I get it.
Well, yeah, I'm not trying to trap you though, right? I'm going to tell you outright. We're not
I'm
flat
not trying to
earthers here.
trap
Don't
you
worry
either.
about it. There's nothing you can say wrong.
No,
We're not flat
I'm-
earthers. We know the earth's not flat. We're not going to go, ha ha, welcome to, like flat earthers do, because we know it's not flat. Simple.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
But you assert things that indicate a flat earth.
Like what? Like the earth not
That
being
elevation.
flat.
That elevation follows a horizontal line.
No, elevation does not follow a horizontal line. It changes, dickhead. Don't know how many times we have to say that. Like, why are you on a script? A
I'm not on a
level,
script.
a level is a tool for establishing a horizontal plane of reference.
And you think that level is parallel with level at a different location.
All horizontals are parallel. Yes.
Yeah, you're purposely avoiding the statement. It's okay. You are coping.
I'm not coping. I'm telling you, we've got arguments for this. We've got proofs. We've got tests. Everything that I've just said, we have proof for saying it. I don't just say it to get you annoyed, right? I've got proofs.
No, so honestly, this is like my honest opinion.
You're the one coping,
I
Dars.
could be wrong.
You are definitely the one
could be
coping.
wrong,
That's why you're still here.
So I could be wrong, but I could have sworn I heard you say like, "Thanks for the super chat." So it appears that you have this channel or something that people are giving you money for. So I think you found yourself a nice little niche in this whole flat Earth globe controversy, where you're like in the middle. Not going to say it's a globe. Not going to say it's flat Earth. I found this nice little niche.
Just
and
talking about
you are gonna try
reality.
to-
Yes. That's
and
all we
you're
do
gonna-
is just talk
Harry-
about reality. To
and
tell
you
people
wanna use
the
this
real
niche
things that you can
to make
prove
as much
in
money
reality.
without
Yes, that's
actually
all we
getting-
talk about. Don't worry
without
about
actually getting a
Duncan.
real job.
Duncan, how many super
That's what I think. is
chats
going
did you get heard called out? How many super chats did you get heard called out today since you've been here? How many?
on. I think 2 or 3, maybe.
I don't think
Could be
so.
wrong.
What do you think
And-
they
and
were?
you know-
$1,000 a time? Do you think, or more?
Doesn't really matter. You,
What,
I would think,
$5?
I
You
re-
could live on $5. You reckon?
No, but
No.
every
So it's not a fortune then.
Takes time to grow a channel. Takes time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we've been going
Yeah.
5 years.
Yeah.
Doing the
See?
same thing,
See, there you
talking
go.
to the same people about the same
$5 or
stuff,
$10.
saying the same things for 5 years. And Strangely enough, people like you keep coming in here talking shit.
I'm not trying to talk shit. I'm
Yeah, you
actually
are.
hoping that
You're saying that we're.
Hey,
You
by
think
all
we're
means, man,
something that we're telling you we're not.
If me coming in here gives your channel some entertainment where you make a little bit more money because of me,
it's
by
nothing
all means,
new.
You
I'm
said it was your
cool with that.
entertainment. You said it's for your
Yeah, absolutely.
entertainment, not for ours.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
Exactly.
well, then you could
Yes,
pay.
yes.
Why didn't you do a
Well,
super chat or two then?
because
Help
I'm the
for
one
the
providing it.
entertainment.
I'm the one providing the entertainment for the channel as well. You're providing the entertainment for me by saying silly
entertainment.
things.
Well, I tell you
Well,
what,
for me,
you I tell you what, you're crap. You haven't pulled in much money tonight. About $5-6, if that, less the 30% that YouTube will take. So, not that's a pretty hard day's work for about
does YouTube take that
$4,
much?
$3.
That sucks.
Yeah,
That's
well,
why I
you
have a
know.
real job.
Yeah, can you hurry up and get on with it? Because there's some more, better people coming along, and they're worth a lot more money.
Are there? Are there?
Yeah, they're queuing up.
Who do
There's
you
a
got coming
queue
on?
behind you.
Who
The
do you
queue.
got?
Oh yeah,
Who do you got?
MC2,
Let's
and
bring the
he's
next
waiting in
person
the
on.
queue. Yeah, they're worth
Let's
a lot
bring him
more
on.
money, but
Let's bring him on.
if you think there's money to be made out of this, you're ridiculous. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
No, like you have
But
MC2 waiting. Bring him on.
well, you seem to be spending a lot of your time on it.
On what?
On this.
I
Yeah,
told
for your entertainment, trying to tell us that horizontal
I
isn't horizontal anymore. It either
I didn't
bows
say
in the
that.
middle or it drops at
I
8
didn't
inches
say
at
that.
one end. And when you
I
go to
didn't
the
say
8
that.
inches, when you go to the
I
end,
didn't
it's
say
8
that.
inches lower. What does it look
I
like
didn't.
looking back?
I didn't say that.
It's 8 inches
You
lower
did.
again.
No, I
Yeah.
didn't.
So when you're at the 8 inches end, that's lower. When you look back at the starting point, what's the situation? It's higher, 8 inches higher then.
Bring on MC2.
No, is it 8 inches high? Is it 8 inches higher
Is MC2 waiting? Is he here?
from the other end? Don't be so ridiculous. Come on.
Is MC2 here?
He
waiting?
gets paid by mentioning his name,
Yeah, perhaps that's what it is.
Yeah.
I get paid? By who?
Just tell us about the other end, where the 8 inches, where it's lower at 8 inches. When you go to the end and you look back to the beginning, what is the situation? It's 8 inches higher then, is it? The other end. Is that correct? Tea break, I reckon.
No, I'm here.
So, with your horizontal, it's 8 inches lower at one end than the other. When you go to the end, it is 8 inches lower, and you look back to the beginning.
I'm not saying the horizontal
the
is 8
initial,
inches lower than.
the initial point is 8 inches higher. You did. You said it was lower, 8 inches lower than the start point. So at the 8 inches low end, when you go there and you look back to the beginning, that's 8 inches higher, I guess. It's not, is it? Is it a bit hot day and to lay down under a tree or something and a rest?
Yeah, you're just boring.
Well, tell me, is it? What is it from the other end then? Must be higher.
Yeah, I've got a thing in the chat there. Tell us.
Yeah, I told you. I don't know how many times I need to repeat saying this. I'm working right now.
Yeah.
I don't have time to be looking in the chat.
Well, everybody else can see the chat, right? It's a 2 mile water level with a middle riser. 2 miles. I mean, I know that's a bit big, but you never know. If we can get Dave Weiss interested in it, this is for flat Earth, right? You say If level's horizontal, then flat Earth, right? How many other people do you reckon would say that? If level equals horizontal, then is it a
You're a
flat
flat
Earth?
earther.
No, if level equals horizontal, then flat Earth. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
There you go. Mark that one, everyone. Said by Duncan Darth, unlicensed globe surveyor. Now, what sort of evidence would you need for level being horizontal? What would you
mean
require?
level not being horizontal? You mean level not being horizontal?
Well, no, that'd be up to you, wouldn't it? Like, what sort of evidence would you take for somebody to show you that level is horizontal? Would like a definition do in a dictionary?
Oh, if someone were to do a reciprocal zenith angle test and get 180 degrees and not in excess of 180 degrees.
Right, well, that's a made-up thing and not an actual surveying operation. We know that. Right?
No, that's an actual thing.
No.
That's an actual thing.
No, it's not. It's not an
Yes,
actual thing. It's not. So would
Yes,
you would you be willing to start a campaign to get the dictionaries changed?
Nope.
No?
Nope. Nope.
No.
Nope.
Okay. So do you think it's okay for people to teach people that level is horizontal in the face of your calls for flat Earth, right? Because they, like you say, that anybody being taught that would be being taught flat Earth, right?
Yes.
Right, okay. So are we going to start some sort of a campaign to make people aware of this? Because I guess people are being lied to, apparently. Dictionaries.
They're not being lied to.
All the dictionaries?
No.
No? What about mathematics in school? Like when you do X and Y, and we call them horizontal and vertical, and they're perpendicular on graphs.
Pick up a surveying dictionary and tell me what. Pick up a surveying dictionary and tell me where it says the Earth is flat.
Dictionary? Is that does that have level being different than a normal dictionary?
Yes.
Oh, right. What's the difference between the surveying
so like a Webster's dictionary will have like a common vernacular. Yeah. So a Webster's dictionary will have like a common vernacular usage of the word.
So where it says like level is horizontal,
be more accurate scientifically.
Yeah, if Webster's dictionary says that level is horizontal, and you've got a different dictionary somewhere, surveying dictionary, that's different. So that's why I'm saying, do you not think it should be a good idea to warn the public, right? Because if they read Webster's dictionary and read level being horizontal, does that not put them as flat earthers? Is that not people being trained to be flat earthers?
No, they're just being taught the common usage of the word.
Okay.
Flat Earth is on Wiki. The Flat Earth is on Wiki.
Yeah, does Wiki say that as well?
Yeah. Level is the same height at all places parallel to a flat ground, while horizontal is perpendicular to the vertical, parallel to the plane of the horizon. Level. Flat.
Is that the only usage of the word?
Well, it sounds like flat Earth is there over at Wiki.
Yeah.
Is that the only usage of the word?
Level is a tool for finding whether a surface is, or for creating a horizontal or vertical line of reference, while horizontal is a horizontal component of a structure.
That's why I think we should start a campaign. Maybe. I mean, I don't know whether... Shall we have a word with Dave Weiss? Perhaps it might be one of his advertising campaigns, right? He doesn't want people, like, being flat earthers, you know, when they don't actually realize it. Because, I mean, most people know that level's horizontal, right? And they're not aware that they're flat earthers. I think we should do something about this. You can't just have some people calling people child abusers and Nazis and all of that because they're flat earthers, and then not actually knowing that they're flat earthers because they're going with the dictionary definition of level. Terrible. How many millions of people do you reckon have been reading the dictionaries? I mean, they can obviously see the mountains and valleys, but I mean, that won't matter, will it? Won't matter that they can see it's not flat. Not if they've been reading a dictionary. Said by a surveyor. Or, you know, a guy claiming to be a surveyor. I'm only, you know, I'm just some random dude on YouTube that's been, you know, accused of being something by all sorts of people. You want to hear what flat earthers have called me? Nathan Oakley calls me all sorts of names, right? Because he doesn't like me saying that the earth's not flat. But here's you coming along that's saying all people need to do is say that level's horizontal. Or level's a straight line on
Away
the
from me, you
horizontal
giant
plane.
bird.
You know, weird.
I'm not trying to fuck with you, man. Don't fuck with me.
I'm not fucking with you.
Nah, I got a fucking turkey fucking with me. Giant fucking big ass turkey. You want to see? I'm posting in the live chat.
So are you up for doing that then? Because you said you've done it.
Oh,
Can
well,
you?
posting
Do
in
you
the
have
live
the
chat.
ability to film it? Is it your equipment? So you'd be able to just go anywhere, right? And do this
What's my
test
company's
again.
equipment? Posted in the live chat. Have that bird fucking with me.
Mm. You know that there's a guy that we know that buys knackered theodolites. I think he's got 13 of them. And he's not got one of them calibrated or anything. He goes to the top of mountains and measures angles.
That's amazing.
He's not a surveyor, though. Tell you. Flat earthers don't want us talking to him. They banned us. Because we were talking to him about straight lines. Can you...
I mean, do you find it
can you
difficult
talk about
being
straight
a flat
lines?
earther, Beth?
Can you talk about straight lines?
Can you talk about elevation, honestly?
Yeah.
Okay. If you stay at the same elevation, are you following along a horizontal line?
That's, yeah, the auto level establishes a
If you
horizontal. Now, the elevation
I'm going to give you a
of
channel.
that horizontal
I'm going to give you a
does
channel. 30,
not
30 more
change.
seconds of entertainment if you can't answer the question.
I'll say it again.
If
the
you travel
backsight and the
along
foresight
the same
of an auto
are
level
you traveling
sight, that's a
along
horizontal,
a
and
flat
that
line?
does not change elevation.
You got about 10
Foresight,
seconds.
backsight.
If you travel along the elevation,
You can't travel
are you
along
traveling on a
it.
horizontal
You're
line?
looking through the scopes. You do not travel along it.
I will give you.
I'm
maybe I'll
surprised
give
that
a
you don't
channel.
know how
Actually,
to
no,
do
it's the
this.
weekend. Entertainment's over.
All right. See you later. Have fun. you've been helpful, because we've got a test that this guy might have just kicked up again. Imagine not knowing the foresight and the backsight as you set up an auto level doesn't change in elevation. If a level is a tool for establishing a horizontal plane of reference, and if that horizontal plane of reference doesn't change in elevation across it, then that guy isn't a surveyor. Don't know. But he's just said anybody that does that's a flat earther. That's weird, isn't it? Anybody that sets up an auto level to perform a 2-peg test. Anybody that's ever performed a 2-peg test with an auto level is now a flat earther, according to him. Now, how many other people do you reckon there are out there like him? And here's the question for someone like you, Rob, as well. Do you need to call yourself a flat earther? Does anybody need to call themselves a flat earther? Because we had Jeremy round here earlier today. Jeremy said that horizontal is flat earth. Because obviously the earth's not flat. And Jeremy thinks that horizontal is flat earth. It seems like this guy here, he also thinks the same thing. So nobody actually needs to be a flat earther, because these people will call you a flat earther for knowing how to measure elevation changes. They've always been the same. I'll say it again. I'm not a flat earther, but I can prove this shit. Is it any wonder why these guys are so upset with us? Because it seems we can prove whatever it is that the flat earthers want and the globe earthers want. We can prove it all. And we can also prove that they're playing with a false dichotomy. There's reality. That's what we can prove. We can prove reality, and we can prove it's not flat, and we can prove it's not a sphere. What more do you want? Welcome to the false dichotomy. So now all you've got to do is get a load of people trying to persuade you, when you know it's not flat, that you're actually a flat earther. You're a flat earther that knows it's not flat. And that shows you how ridiculous this fucking tag is. Because they're all gearing up. Nathan Oakley's called me you know, some horrible names. Even worse than Fight the Flat Earth was calling me. Flat earthers and the globe earthers are really upset with us. Isn't it weird? Some little arguments and a test. Look where they all are.
Strange days.
Attack on straight. And the best defense is to call you a flat earther. I don't want to bring surveyors into it as well. That's why, you know, this is for normal people to do. It's a geometric test. That can be worked out in the mind. You can work that sort of stuff out. Like you can with arguments, theorems, mathematical theorems. You can develop them into hypothesis and do actual tests in reality. If this, then that, like that guy's just said. If you can prove that level is horizontal. Now, can anybody prove that level's horizontal? I mean, it is in reality. Can you prove shit in reality? Or do you think we've got to 2024 without being able to prove whether level's horizontal or not? Imagine nobody knows. Imagine there's a band of people on the internet that just go round slandering people, and they've convinced everyone that you don't actually know whether level is horizontal or not. Really? Come on. You can tell how many people are actually interested in this by how many people are watching. Very little. Everybody's in it for the drama. Everybody's so lost they don't even know whether level is horizontal or it isn't. They couldn't even work out how to prove whether it is or it isn't, because they obviously don't have the ability to know what a straight line is. And the flat earthers aren't interested, right? Because it's not going to prove the Earth's flat. It doesn't prove the Earth's flat. It just proves that level's horizontal. Everybody knows that already. Nobody can work it out using reasoning to work out how it works in reality. Then I think we're already lost. I don't think there's anybody can actually process this sort of stuff, because it's pretty simple. It's got to have been pretty simple, and it's got to have been in front of everybody's eyes all along. Yeah. Sando. Yeah. Levels, horizontal. All horizontals are parallel, because horizontals are parallel to the plane of the horizon. Therefore, all horizontals are parallel to each other. Can't be faulted. It's just simple arguments in reality. And the best defense is to point at somebody and say, that's flat Earth. Well, it's not. It's literally how you measure it's not flat. People can't discuss the very simple things, and perpendicular's got to be one of them. We're probably going to be going around to have a word with the flat earthers about this. It's not as if I didn't make it simple to show flat earthers ages ago when I said level is a straight line on a horizontal plane. I mean, you know, it's either provable or it isn't. And I'm not too sure whether it's falsifiable. I mean, listening to these guys, it's got to be. They're the science guys. Nathan Oakley would be able to prove it anyway, wouldn't he? Can he not just point a sextant, measure an angle? And I don't think so. I don't think Nathan understands what proof is either. Sandro's asking how much horizontal to make a globe. I don't know. Everybody, right? Everybody lives on a globe, but horizontals are parallel. Level is horizontal. So surely you've got to put that on the globe if you're a globe guy. Otherwise, you're dealing with model affliction. You're allowing your model to dictate something that is provable in reality. That's where this guy's going wrong. These globe surveyors. Put it on your model. Be done. Don't start letting your model dictate that level isn't horizontal, because that's ridiculous. You're going to be left in aporia. You're going to be struggling. Godzilla talking about Arwin. Yeah, Arwin said all sorts of stuff about me as well, Gords, and you've got to believe that Arwin's been in this arena for over 5 or 6 years, right? And fully immersed in it. He's like, he was designing all sorts of globe stuff for Nathan. He was giving them all sorts of arguments. And so he was fully involved in that. Yeah, he's going to be messed up. It might take him a while for him to get back again. But you never know. He might. I don't know. Don't know whether people can come back from that. Because that's some really deep shit into the model. Like, because imagine this, right? There is reality. Now, there's 2 groups of people that have these models. Flat Earth and globe Earth. Right? Neither of them are real. Obviously. Whatever you think flat Earth is, right? It's not flat. So it's something else. You can try and convince yourself it's flat if you want, but you know it's not flat. And the globe, well, that's just riddled with contradictions. So if the flat Earth guys want to say it's not flat, but we want to call it flat, then they're adding to the contradiction. They've got other contradictions as well, right? So these models, both of them have contradictions. The only place where contradictions aren't allowed is reality. So if you live in reality and don't subscribe to any contradictions, then you're not going to be a flat earther and you're not going to be a globe earther. That's it. That's where you are. That's where I am anyway. And I'm okay with that. I sort of know that there's certain things that I don't know. And if you're okay with that, right, it doesn't make you a flat earther. Who knows what's going to happen over the next whatever. But the attack on Strait's begun. Everyone should be able to see from here on in. This isn't about flat Earth or globe Earth. This is an outright attack on logic and Straight. If they can take Straight and make you confused about what Straight is, then you're not going to know whether you're coming or going. You've got nothing. And I think that's a bigger threat at the minute than the distraction of flat Earth and globe Earth. It's ridiculous. but everybody's into that arena too much, and they can't talk about reality because they all get too triggered. Flat earthers get triggered that it's not flat. Globe earthers get triggered because they know that we have a proof that level is a straight line on a horizontal plane. They can't go anywhere else. Just living in reality, having to deal with delusional people. No, Mike, not wiggly lines. No, that's the thing about this. This is far more sinister than that. It's still straight. It's just not what you think it is. That's even worse. Straight is still straight. This is what the globe's been doing for a long time. They think great circles are straight lines. But they don't think they're circles, they're straight lines. They just don't see the consequences, the implications of it all. Terrible. And I don't know who wants it to occur in this arena. I get the feeling like there's a load of Flat Earth Society people that want it to happen. They just want to mess people up mentally. Because somebody telling you that you don't know what straight is. And proper gaslighting. Imagine what happened, right? If somebody else within reality just happens to say that level's horizontal, right? I've just been to go and get me a spirit level from the shop because I can put me shelf up so there's no roll or slope. That's horizontal, right? We used to do it with a caravan. Wind the legs up so the tin doesn't roll on the table. Stefan Mudd. There's a team of people that have been doing this for don't know how long. 5 years at least. Probably picked some of them up from Twitter, WS and the like. These guys have been with us all this time, trying to obfuscate, trying to convince you that you don't know what straight lines are. Level is a straight line on a horizontal plane. Is like, it's a definite statement that I made ages ago. And straight. Seems like we've been the only ones defending straight with a realistic understanding. I don't know. I don't know what to do now. Where do you go from here? You know that there's a group of people that are ready to call anybody that knows that level is horizontal. Well, go and ask Ozion. Go and ask Fight the Flat Earth what he thinks of flat earthers. Brenda. Go and ask them what they think of people that can prove level is horizontal. Go and ask them what they think.
They are just expressing their confusion because they don't like people if these people can't prove anything. So if you can prove something, you're a bad guy. That's the point, I think. They don't like proofs because it disrupts the narrative. They don't like it. Yeah. But this
That's
is
why
just...
we did a test for ourselves, just so we knew we could do it as a test. So it was like a double test, if you will. Now that test can be done again, definitely, with other people. But who's going to want to do it if it makes you a child abuser, a Nazi, a flat earther? I don't know which one's worse. It was July the 8th last year, Lamal. But you do realise saying a percentage number implies you know 100%. I'd be wary of doing that. I've got McToon saying about water level being horizontal as well, you know. Recorded. In the early days, before they realised what sort of argument this was. People will always get tripped up because, in reality, level is a straight line on a horizontal plane. I don't think anybody's really going to be that bothered until the flat earthers can manage to say it proves a flat earth. But, I mean, it doesn't. But they want it to. They won't get involved in it. So what? Yeah, so what? If it does, Stefan. Doesn't make any difference. It's just reality. Don't worry about it. Put it on your model. Incorporate it into the schema and say that happens in reality. That'll do. That's all we want. To know about the things that happen in reality and have nobody try and gaslight you against the things that do actually happen in reality. Well, been a weird one tonight, hasn't it? Isn't it weird that we're doing the straight line test? Talking about the water levels. It's all right. Flat earthers even have a hump in the middle. Only people that live in reality, I think, can have this test. Don't ask much, just to know the things that you can know. And that's not much. Like, you know, simple folk. But being able to reason these things. Construct arguments, theorems, hypotheses. Test them. Stefan's still trying his hardest to do the geometric game. He's got a bit of text. I think that's what's happened here, is people have got so used to just talking and texting with each other. They never have to show anything. You can just say things. Yes, there are things that are provable, and it's handy to know them, especially when you do know them, that you do have a proof. If anybody does want to come in over the weekend, we are going to be gearing up to do these tests again. Hopefully we've got a Bedford trip coming. That should be special, I think. But hey, it's only stuff that happens in reality. Nobody really needs to be that bothered about it. You know, people have been doing tests for ages. It's okay, it doesn't mean anything. We just do what in reality, and that's, you know, that's enough. Anybody want to suggest a song? What's the song? Get going.
Something about level, maybe, like horizontal. True level.
Oh, true level, bitch. True level, bitch. 23. There you go. New one. Thank you very much for watching. Buster's going to play us out. And perhaps one of Buster's most classic songs. I had the honour of making this video. Come and join us in the Discord, because we do have these tests. I wouldn't mind getting some people together. Now, these can be done not just in the UK when we're going to go and do it, but I mean, you guys in America, Canada, all you need to do is get somebody else with you. We'll show you how to do it, and you can work the geometric stuff out for yourself. And then you can go and test it, replicate it, do it for yourself. That's the idea of this sort of stuff. Citizen science, if you will. Thank you very much. We'll see you again, maybe over the weekend. You know, I've got some stuff recorded. Surveyor again. And pretty much similar to this one. And some other stuff. Maybe the Jeremy stuff. And we might go over there too. Geos. Pop in. See you later. Oh.
Hey, Buster, are you there? Have you got your guitar?
Yeah, I've got it right here. I've just been working on something new. It's a song about looking for the truth. Play it for you guys.
What are you doing? I want your shelf level or not? And if I say yes, you're gonna provide that for me with that? Yes? See the bubble? I'm familiar with the bubble, Morty. I also dabble in precision, and if you think you can even approach it with your sad, naked caveman eyeball and a bubble of air, you're the reason this species is a failure, and it makes me angry. You want to experience true level? Do you?
Oh, that's in the mind for all to face.
And it makes me angry.
Choices will be made.
You want to experience true level? Do you?
You can choose to let your mind be free.
Wow, it's so... Oh my God. Oh, Christ. Yeah, true level, bitch.
I think that you're right.
Exactly, it's level.
Everybody knows that you're wrong.
And it makes me angry.
There are things
Wow,
in this
it's so...
world that are
Oh my God.
objectively
Oh,
true.
Christ. Yeah, true level, bitch.
and that's my midpoint, 981. But look what I did here. And bam, there's the radius of the Earth. Using this bridge. Computing the radius of the Earth. 3 coplanar points in 3D would describe a circle.
You want to experience true level? Do you? True level, bitch. I'll keep looking for clues.
That's the thing, your vision is already being obfuscated by the spherical cap.
One of the humps. Radius of the Earth.
Well, you seem to be in charge of what I get to remember. Why? Good question.
And bam, there's the radius of the Earth.
Yeah, true level, bitch.
Now we have our.
It has been directly measured.
By Jesse Kozlowski.
You know, I got the idea from Bueller. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, true level, bitch. I'll keep looking for clues. Yeah, true level, bitch. Yeah, true level, bitch. Oh my God. Oh Christ. Yeah, true level, bitch. True level, bitch. All right, save it for YouTube. I'll keep looking for clues.